How are you, boys and girls, on this Sunday? I hope all is well. Yesterday was supposed to be Guitar Saturday. We didn't do any guitar playing. We looked up to. That's fine. We're gonna actually try and stick to the schedule since we're doing since we're doing it. Uh, well, we're already into our 1,000 days, right? We're not even halfway through. We're not even a quarter way. I think we're 3 months in. So it's going to be a long haul. So get ready for it. Uh, don't have to be here every day. Pop in and out. See if we're still doing it. I got to really somehow figure out a way to do the guitar every day. But yeah, I don't see. Well, I do it every day. I don't see how you would want to hear me go plunk, plunk, plink, plonk, plank until I'm good at it. But we'll be every day talking politics likely, which I don't really want to do, but I think I'm good at it. So I guess I'm going to be doing it. Uh, Let me just say, um, shout out to all my Northeasterners, New York, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, New York. Uh, I think parts of Delaware. Storm is coming at you guys. They get kicked off at 2 this morning. It began, and it should hit you guys at 2 p.m. Right? So I want you guys to be safe. I know I'm a weirdo on these internets here, and I say it all the time. I do. I got love for you. I don't know you personally, but I got love. I'm not in love with you. I don't love you because I don't know you, but I got love for you. You know, wherever you are, I, I, I want you to be well. It's corny, I know, but yeah, I've seen a lot of disasters and people getting randomly hurt, and I'm always like, oh my god. And even if I don't know that person, obviously, because this is in the newspaper, whatever, uh, you just kind of like it, 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 it's serious, man. It's a thing. Prepare yourselves and your family, and spare me some agita about worrying about you. All right. Uh, I'm in my grandma mode with this today. Uh, oh my goodness gracious! I'm about to open up these curtains, and my eyes are already tearing. The tearing eyes match with the about to say the inability to speak. The not having spoken all day. Oh, will get you tuckered. Oh, so we're having coffee. I was a little late. Yeah, I was a little late. I was 10 minutes late. Um, Sunday session. Remember, Sunday session is church or mosque or synagogue. It gets you. Everybody, look, everybody's dying. Um, I gotta tell you, you know what misinformation is? I can't even say it because YouTube is a censorship machine now in America. Uh, at least Google was a censorship machine outside of the fucking country. Um, China is what I'm talking about. Giving up Chinese dissidents. Shame on you, Google. Mm, 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 mm. So what are we doing? I have a guitar thing up here. I was actually gonna continue practicing. And you're taking just all that I got. But if you want, I'll try to love again. Right? So that's what I was. Oh boy, right. That's what I was mucking with. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know. Right? One of these great. Oh, this song is 50 years old. Yeah, I don't even think the kids know what it is, but that's fine. The kids can be interested. Good Lord, my eyes can be interested in what they're interested in. That's fine. When I was a kidling, I was interested in some of the stuff that I was interested in, and the elders did not get it. Uh, but here's one of the problems. Nobody's got any understanding, any empathy, um, compassion. Nobody even tries to get what someone else is interested in or talking about. They just want to hear what it is so they can immediately start judging it and tell you how that's bullshit. Unless there's money in it and they can be close to it, then it's the greatest thing ever. It's a dismal place. They just flew all these Afghans in to Virginia, where I am, and I'm not happy about it. I openly tell you, you had 20 years and all you did was be quiet or accept, these Taliban insurgents while the Americans was around. You didn't give any of them up. Now you fucking cry about no one saving your country while you're all at the airport. If all those people who are at the fucking, if all those men who are at the fucking Afghan airport had shown that much vigor to join the military, you might not be in the position you are. They're going to cut off so many heads. And at this point, for that group, I don't care. I don't care. It was 20 years. Right? And I'm not, this is not me being cruel. Like the civil rights movement, if you follow this channel, I've said is over. Right? And now all I hear are people crying about the police. And I'm like, if you're going to one fucking march, if you're going to any of these meetings, if you made $10 a week and you gave 50 cents of it to any of these organizations, black organizations I'm talking about, not any of these, but I mean, it's now they're all just money clubs and, in my opinion, ways to grift you. Meanwhile, you think it's getting better because the media has stopped reporting on all these fucked up shootings. There's actually one a day. Not one a day, one every 3 days. Hey, William, how's the weather? Literally, not like, like conversationally. I know you're in a hurricane zone. So how's the weather? So, that's where my head is at on some of this thing. A lot of people really do, I think, in the black community, I believe, really do think, hey, there's a lot of racial unfairness. Somebody should go out and fix it for me. And they don't go to marches. They don't go to, but meanwhile, if you're sitting here talking about, they don't want to hear it. Because I've been there too, talking about why we're here, the long road of us getting here. Man, I'm trying to have a drink, man. We always talking that bullshit. Nobody wants to hear it. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then they're the first as soon as these fucking cops. Oh, really? Really? So you don't want to hear from me? But man, so the whole thing is just a fucking joke. I don't know what is going to happen to America, but everybody feeds on everybody for money. So you're going to need some good governors, right? Governance. When I say governor, I don't mean governor. I mean like people who govern the country. And if everybody's just a fucking land shark bullshit politician, it's crazy. I heard that. Yeah, but that was from flooding, right? But that's not the hurricane. So Tennessee, let's look up Tennessee. Let's close this. Let me pull up a Tennessee. All right, so let's put this over here. Although I am black and proud, brothers and sisters keep fucking. All right, Tennessee flooding. We had a flooding alert here. At least 10 people have died, and 31 remain missing in severe flooding in Tennessee. That's a lot of people. Heavy rain triggers catastrophic flash floods in the middle of Tennessee. And this is it. This is one of the things this is one of the things I'm talking about. Do you think that the people, the governors of Tennessee, like the governor, his people, the head of the Highway Traffic Safety Committee, the head of the bridge and tunnels, right? The head of the housing in the area didn't know where the flood zones were? I mean, why is this not a thing to them until a whole bunch of people die? Then they stand at a dais and tell you how we're all tragic. We're going to keep it, but it's your fault. And then you go back to your giant house on a hill. It's like COVID right now, right? Everybody wants everybody to get vaccinated, but a lot of people telling you to get vaccinated have giant houses away from everybody, right? It's my opinion. You should get vaccinated. That's just my opinion. It could be stupid. It could be right. It could be wrong. It's just my humble. I gotta stop talking about this because fucking YouTube is a shit show with fucking the nonsense. But the whole thing is just distasteful. It really is. Distasteful is the kindest word I'm using. I mean, yeah, the government. This is the governors of the place fault, and they never get t- what not take proper credit, but get proper comeuppance. Oh no, not no Twitter. This is on Twitter. Tennessee flood leaves 10 dead, 40 missing in Humphreys County. Heavy rain. How do you not know that they lived in a flood? And look at this, Oklahoma flooding up to the freaking rafters. Here we go. Where are we? Here we go. What is up with that? What is up with that? All right. This thing is already giving me pains in the patucus. Your internet is good, but yeah, all right. So yeah, I mean they're old people. They're going into crowds. I'm not a fan of Jesse Jackson. I've said so why on these things. I was taught that he's sketchy AF, and I've always believed it. A political activist. And that's your problem. He should be a social justice activist, and he's not. He's a political pawn now. I saw Michelle Obama show up in something yesterday, and she was saying, telling black people the best way you change this is to vote. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That is none of that is what she was saying was true. No, because you vote, and you don't get dick. And black people vote all the time. At this point, we're voting for just, the wealthy, the rich elite, and they don't do anything for us. Yeah, it wasn't canceled halfway through. Maybe that's what happened. Wow, NYC concert canceled. Oh my God, my typing is horrible. We Love New York concert officially canceled as Henry batters Big Apple. A Starry Central Park comeback concert is silenced by lightning. Surely there's imagery of this. We Love New York concert canceled halfway through. See, in the old days, I could click this, and everything is corporate now. But you used to get popular people's like took it themselves. Now, if you see that, it's because it's on someone's platform. The Rolling Stones, ABC7, USA Today. Let's we go way back here 10. Do we get any? When do we begin getting people's popular stuff that they put up? You don't. Yeah. So this algorithm moves a lot of stuff into the forefront and push other stuff away. The algorithm is a cheat, by the way. A bullshit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to call it a bullshit concert, but for all the stuff New York has going on, this is what they're kind of trying to concentrate on. New York has a violent cop problem. It has a not gender. It has a segregated schools problem. It's got a gentrification problem. This is what you're going to count on. And yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to get Cuomo out, you should have got him out over Sandy and what happened in the projects around the waterfronts in Far Rockaway, in Red Hook houses. All that is what you should have been paying attention to. I mentioned it. No one cares. The opposition, is well funded. People like me who just want better and don't want to charge you for it get no love because everything has a price. Okay, We Love New York homecoming concert. The Clive Davis program concert in Central Park was called off just past its halfway point Saturday due to lightning strikes occurring within a 10-mile radius of the Great Lawn. Artists like Bruce Springsteen, Paul Simon, Elvis Costello, Malua, I don't know who that is, Patti Smith, and the Killers. All right, first of all, let's go through this. Clive Davis is famous in the music business, but he don't make music anymore. The music have passed by Clive Davis. And now he's just a broker of like fucking music shit, isn't he? Bruce Springsteen, I mean, Paul Simon, I mean, all these guys are Elvis Costello. I mean, I like Paul Simon, Elvis Costello, but if I don't know who Maluma is. Patti Smith, the Killers is the most recent one, and they're 20 years old. Had yet to appear to shut down. Those who did get in the stage and concert included Jennifer Hudson. Okay, I don't know any song she sings. I know she's famous for a reality show. Polo G, I guess that's for the young people. Opera singer Andrea Bocelli. Okay, Earth, Wind, and Fire, who I saw at Madison Square Garden. I want to say 4 years ago. Cool. Okay, but Cool J is an actor now. I don't know who Kane Brown is. Journey would have saw them, but they're 40 years old. Santana for John Batista and a New York fellow. This lineup is not awesome. The abrupt halt came with the middle of a Barry Manilow. What the fuck? How? Who is the youngest person on this stage? And I'm sure they got somebody who was starting out their musical career because they would have loved to be around these people. But somebody like, let's say, who's popular now? The Foo Fighters are on tour, right? They probably would have wanted mask mandates and all this other stuff. Yeah, wow, that's amazing. The abrupt halt came in the middle of the Barry Manilow medley at 8:37 p.m. at 60,000 fans in attendance, and even those in VIP area were told to exit immediately. Get out! Nothing like getting 60,000 people to move like this. Confusion reigned. You think? Reigned in the aftermath of the mass exit, although an announcer could be heard on the CNN broadcast telling attendees that the show was canceled. In an effort to convince stragglers to leave, some fans on social media reported that Mayor Bill de Blasio had come out and suggested they take shelter nearby in case the show could be restarted. And this is the problem with fucking the internet. Liars. I mean, they just lie. And there's no ramifications for it. It's like these hackers, right? You don't know how to deal with the hackers, so it's like highwaymen of the ancient day, right? Like what did the British call them? Roadmen. So you'd be in your horse and buggy in the 1600s. Somebody would jump out of the woods, rob and kill you, and then be gone, and no one knew who they were, how they, and every night. That's why when you caught them, it was instantly hanging. It's like in the Old West. Same thing with horses. Once you got a horse and was gone, nobody knew your horse was this horse unless it was branded. So they started branding these horses. Then they caught you with because a horse was your everything, mind you. Your transportation, it was your beast of burden, right? It helped you. And when you didn't have it, people suffered. And you lived 10 miles outside of the ranch, and you couldn't just go out and buy another horse. So when they caught horse thief, they killed them. They hung them. So then it wasn't just kind of being cruel. It's kind of like the damage you do is too ridiculous. And then the hanging, sinister people, right? Just started hanging everybody. People walking through, accusing you of anything. And I mean, they didn't just hang fucking black people and Mexicans. They hung immigrants, got Irish accent, Scottish accent. What are you doing here? All this kind of shit that no one ever addressed, and now is in the fabric of the country. Yeah, fucking liars are everywhere in America. And then when you occasionally do find them and bring them into public, all of a sudden they're these super contrite people. There's a famous story about this guy who called in to places and had people searched, and they made a movie about it. And when they finally got him, they traced the calls back. He used phone cards, so you couldn't, trace them. But smart FBI agent traced it and back to where the call cards were bought, and then looked up like the date of when it was bought, and then match that date to the security camera because the store happened to have one. Then match it to the guy who bought that time it was sold at, let's say, 1:14 and 14 seconds at the register. And then you looked at 1:14. There's the guy. Then they look at the car he drove, check the plate, went to his house, grabbed the dude. Dude was a middle management kind of like office cubicle guy, and would get on his phone and like, yeah, the police and blah blah blah, and we believe that woman has, and we want you to strip her surgery, and you're like, I'm a McDonald's employee, and they're like, you have police authority, just do, and people do it. They sent one guy to jail for 15 years because he stripped her down, looked in her parts, and then he was like, what the police did? They were like, no, you should have had enough common sense to not do that. One guy was like, I'm not doing that. None of this sounds right. And then he removed himself from the whole thing. And he testified that they didn't charge him because they were like, yeah, you didn't do anything. You used your common sense. The idea that someone calls you up and has you strip search a female employee at your restaurant, and no one has a problem with this. But this is what they would. They don't want you to question authority. And then when you do something that is fucked up, because you didn't question authority, they hold your feet to the fire. And then there's other people who question authority on the side of the road. Why am I pulled over? And then they get beat up and murdered on the side of the road for questioning authority. Yeah, America is just. Oh, you're about to have your next big trial, R. Kelly's pedochild case. We're gonna finish reading this, but a little bit about R. Kelly in my personal life. When I heard about this Aaliyah thing, I didn't know about it, and then I heard, oh yeah, he got all these. I was like, what? Why? And he was still on the radio. I was like, why is anybody listening to him? So I don't listen to any R. Kelly. If you're in my car and he comes on, I'll leave it on for you because I don't want to cut it off and give you a giant lecture about my feelings on R. Kelly, right? But if I'm in my car, it's off. I get rid of it, just like Jay-Z. I don't like what he stands for, so his music bothers me now. So the idea of, you can cancel a person but not their music, I find that hard to believe, right? And they say this, they say that because they want to keep the revenue running. So if you canceled Michael Jackson, there'd be $1 billion left on the table. They don't want that. And now they're definitely not canceling Michael Jackson because his family sold off his catalog, and it's going to play on their air forever, make $100 trillion, and they took what, 200 million for it or something stupid, when they would have made that back in 2 years. I think they talk to these young rich people and the lawyers set them up. I really do believe that. Just like lawyers, the prosecutors, and the defense attorneys will fucking set you up to. A lot of these 30-year sentences can be traced back to their representation and the prosecution, and either the sinister or sleeping judge that was overseeing the case. So yeah, you can watch this and you can blame a million people. There was enablers for this. There was So anyway, Orion Emanuel had made it far enough into his medley to sing Copacabana, Mandy, and Can't Smile Without You, but fell short of just being able to get to the planner capper to his set. I made it through the rain. I guess you didn't make it through the rain. For nearly 3 hours afterwards, some of the performers who yet to play waited out in their trailers. Wow, for 3 hours. Clyde, that's fucking dedication. Well, then again, you ever try and get out of a place in New York? I mean, 60,000 people going to the buses, to the subways, trying to hail a cab, trying to get to, if they drove in, trying to get to their car and get it out of the parking garages, then get on the street. Streets are going to be first of all, it's super extra packed all the time. There's going to be super duper extra packed, right? Then you have to deal with the traffic. It was a pain in the ass going from Brooklyn to Madison Square Garden. I can imagine people driving in from Jersey or taking the train, trying to get up to a Yankee game. Trains are always packed, clogged AF, right? The great hordes, the what do they call it? The great unwashed. Isn't that what they call it? Clive Davis and other organizers Clive Davis and other organizers talked with city officials with the idea that the show might resume within without an audience and wrap up as pure broadcast event. But the hopes of the crowd free resumption proved to be in vain, with the hosts New York CNN announcing just before 10:30, with rain and lightning still in the area, that there was no possibility of even an impromptu, informal finale. The concert and broadcast were planned to last 5 hours. It was 2 hours and 37 minutes. You got more than halfway through it. I wonder what. So look, the legally craziness of this, all contingencies, right? These like, oh, just in case it rains or it snows or something happens, this must happen, that must happen. We must get paid then. Well, how many do you? Well, we'll do an hour, and if an hour it's supposed to go 5 hours. Well, how about half? We'll do half. If we can get through half the show when nothing happens, then you'll pay us our full this. They got through half by like 7 minutes. Maybe it was 3 hours, right? Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure they were like, well, why don't we just do this so we don't have to fucking hear the legal fight later? Because there's going to be, a ton of legal bullshit. Would you consider this an act of God, just a thunderstorm? It's not a flood or a hurricane or anything. It's a thunderstorm. And then you would have got all those people out there for an impromptu goodbye early, and then a lightning bolt would have hit something, fell down, and killed 9 rock stars. And then everybody would have been like, why'd they go about it? You know what I mean? Everybody likes to second guess after the fact. Everybody in America in these positions are armchair quarterbacks. They're never brave enough to get out ahead of it. But once it happens, they're like, oh my God, this is outrageous. We the American people demand satisfaction, yada, yada, yada. Or if it's the other way, oh my God, this is such a tragedy. Oh, our hearts go out, hopes and prayers, yada, 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 tragedy. You can see the bullshit on display constantly. Why? Because nothing gets fixed. And that's one of the two ways they do it. They either demonize whoever, oh my God, this is outrageous. You're not getting, this or that, whatever. Or if it's the other way, oh my God, he was a fool. He should have done X, Y, and Z. That's all they do. They don't have any ideas for anybody. Their greatest achievement is to get in office. Their second greatest achievement is to sit there forever. Their third greatest achievement is to then pack it with their cronies. And this is no different. New York City is packed with cronies. Please pay attention to the following safety measures. Due to approaching severe weather, all persons should move quickly and calmly to the nearest exit and proceed to your vehicles and protect the areas. Some fans are reluctant to leave, makes sense, but the announcer soon declared over the PA that the event was canceled. Even so, CNN urged people to stick around. Good job, CNN. By putting a chyron on screen for much of the following 3 hours that read, concert may resume. This is the legalese right here. That may. Soon, once severe weather passes. Severe weather doesn't pass that fast, though. It's thunderstorms last all night. If you get a smattering of showers, that's different, but that's never a thunderstorm. And the thunderstorms have distance, right? Those clouds are fucking 50 miles wide. So where was it? And if the cloud was moving at 12 miles an hour and you're saying it was 10 miles away, it'll be on you in an hour. And you have a 5-hour concert. Once again, they believe seem to be more than just a faint hope, as anchor Anderson Cooper interviewed artists in their trailers who said they believe that some sort of denouement, even a short one, could be in order. They did not use the word denouement. All right. The final part of a play, movie, or narrative, which strands the plot are drawn together and matters are explained to it. All right, so denouement is give us the fucking outcome, give us the end result, give us the plot, give us denouement. All right, good job. Another word that I won't remember. Could be in order despite the final. There you go. In order to despite, how you gonna have a denouement at a concert? You can have it at the end of a song, at the end of a movie, and it's not his concert. It's a whole bunch of people. How do you have? Yeah, all right. CNN's weather anchor said the city officials had previously revealed that the show would have to be called off if there were any lightning strikes within 10 miles. That makes sense. And once those occurred in the Rockaways and Battery area, there was no choice but to call it off. The lightning strikes represented the passing out of flank of Hurricane Henry, 270 miles away from Manhattan at the time. 270 miles away, and you're still getting blowback. Wow, this is a long fucking article about a canceled concert. What is this down here? New York homecoming show at Northstar concert becomes a pandemic metaphor. Yeah, you get all these people there, and then you got to send everybody home. Not for COVID, but because of the thunder. Oh. On the phone, Erica Hill, national correspondent. We love New York City, the homecoming concert. Yeah. There's your problem. There's your problem. Kill this. Do we even want to look at these people? Reverend Jesse Jackson and his wife have been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID. All right. Yeah, you're around all these people and you're older. It was bound to happen. And here's the thing. If you get X, right? And excuse me, and you're an elder and you get this, and you have gotten the puncture. I'm gonna play word games now to avoid the algorithm, and you get the puncture. You can still get the X, right? That's the truth. So, I mean, they should have been, well, I don't want to say they should have been out there. I don't know. How do you continue your days without being fully affected or impacted, rather the better word, by the X, right? Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. I don't think a lot of people know. I think a lot of it is just new territory. Nobody wants to admit it's new territory. Doctors are currently monitoring both the Rainbow Push Coalition and the statement. Saturday, everyone has been anyone who has been around either of them for the last 5 or 6 days should follow the CDC guidelines. RPC in Chicago-based International Human Rights and Civil Rights Organization. Are they international? What do they do outside of the borders? And here, they don't do shit. They have an opinion. They show up at press conferences. That's all you see of the Rainbow Push Coalition. These fucking people. Jackson, 79, and his wife, Jacqueline, 77, are currently at Northwestern Memorial Hospital in Chicago. Jackson received his first COVID-19 vaccine in January at an event to prompt African Americans' confidence in the vaccine. Yeah, so he's just, oh God, Lord. Just because the opposition calls you a civil rights leader and the people that you're supposed to lead don't call you that, what does that mean? My God. Jackson, due to the more dangerous nature of the Delta variant, breakthrough infections for those who are vaccinated have been reported, largely among those who are older or immunocompromised. Yeah, they're older. They shouldn't have been out there. In February, the civil rights leader underwent successful surgery after being hospitalized for abdominal discomfort. In 2017, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a neurological with no cure. Here you go. Come on. Let's do this. Let's open up this here. Let's see how wealthy he is. Jesse Jackson's net worth. Okay. That's not bad. He's been in civil rights forever. That's respectable. I would say that this is respectable. I looked up how much he's worth. Let's get it. I don't know how, but this is respectable, right? He's been at this since the 50s. He wrote a couple of books. Let's say good investments. This makes sense to me. But there's some of these civil rights people are ridiculously wealthy. You're just kind of like, oh boy. And you think that they do it for the cash. How? Oh man, I gotta stop doing that with my clumsy fingers. Who else we know? I don't believe this. Yeah, I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe it. But at least they're not goofy. Let's do this. Let's close this down. All right. So, what is going on with my eyes? So, seriously though, the hurricane is approaching the Northeast. You guys be careful. Um, yeah, I guess they should have canceled the concert an hour and a half in. I mean, 2.5 hours in. Your civil rights leaders should likely be out of the civil rights game by the time they're, I don't know, 90. I mean, all he's got to do is try to vote for people. And voting for people doesn't seem to help. We put them in office and then they forget about us. So what else you got? What else you got? There were other things to do in the civil rights movement. I want to remind you. You know what I'm saying? And no one ever talks about any of those things. Look at this imagery. Do I have anything open? While we're here, we should check to see if we are streaming to all locales because we have been here for a minute. My chickadee check. Is this loud and kicking? Okay, that is at least sound. We can get behind that. Welcome to the chat. The more I think about this, the more I think I should concentrate on doing this on Twitch. And give a bulletin. Stop it. And give a bulletin. All right. So yeah. Why does that not have a thing? Here I am. The more I think about this, the more I think I should. All right, that's good. I'm hesitant to do that. I've got such a loyalty streak. I don't really like to abandon shit. I put a lot of faith in shit and people and things that don't deserve them. I mean, but this streamer doesn't give a fuck if I'm here or not. Sunday session. All right, so let's go back to here. All right, and we take this and we put it back over here. And we shrinks it. And come on. Yeah, that whole shift going to all blurry is just really making me fucking bananas. So it's Sunday here uh, on the East Coast of America. And we're doing what we Americans do all the time. We're going back and forth with each other about systemic problems, recent problems, brand new problems. We're just perpetually conflict driven amongst each other. So what are we gonna do? Where's that thing? I was supposed to be doing. Did I close it? I didn't think so. I was supposed to be doing and it's taking just all that I've got. Copy this, shrink this. But if you want, I'll try to love again. The lyrics of that song and the simple melody of it, it's timeless.
We have a classic from Cat Stevens.
Dismiss this. I'm not signing in yet. We'll do this bigger. You can get lost.
I'm going to show you how to strum through the easy chords. I will tell you what you need to know if you want to play.
Let's cut this. The first cut is the deepest, baby. First cut is deepest, right? Great lesson I just found you. I love how you break it down. Subscribe. Thank you for the entire series, John. And you're doing the ones for beginner guitarists. Yeah, whoever this guy is good, man. His tutorials are really good. So let me throw his. Let's pop them open in a new tab, and then take that, just in case anybody wants to hear. Wow, he's got like all sorts of stuff. What's his playlist like? He's got a lot of good shit here. So this is the name of his channel. Yeah. So get at him if you want to do what I'm doing and try and be a little more. What's what I'm looking for? Artsy. I am artsy, right? A lot of painting, drawing, a lot of people deal in art to deal with mental calamity, right? Very few people deal in art just to deal in art. Oh, I like to play with clay, right? Real artists, I'm saying real artists, have, I don't want to say conflicting natures, are driven to it. There's a drive to it. It's not just because you like. I think it's something else. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely something else. I realized this when I was much younger and I went to college. I found all these people who were like, "Oh, I'm an artist," because I didn't want to be a banker. I didn't want to, so I decided to be an art. I'm like, that's not how that works, right? You had no history of art, and then all of a sudden, somewhere in like junior high school, you decide to be a sculptor, or I mean, writing is an art. But I'm like, man, normally people know that. Normally people know that you're artsy when you're young, right? And some people they're artists for a long time, then it goes away, and they go, "Oh man, I haven't done any of that since I was 8, 9, or 10," and that's fine. People, but some people just, and then other people, artists, get obsessed and so absorbed that it becomes detrimental, right? You can't paint all day, you can't draw all day, you can't bark at the world. You still have to be able to go out into the world and manage your deal, whatever your deal may be. But yeah, I mean, artsy fartsy people. My art. There's different types of artists. Just like some people are saying they're artists, and I don't think they are. That's just my, I could totally be wrong. I wouldn't doubt it. I think other people have never been artists, and they should be, right? They they never found a medium for whatever it is that makes you like weird and artsy. Like, because I have this idea about how art came into the human diaspora, right? And I always associate with like work or war. It was the first therapy, right? Work, war, or just to like be able to show that you can do a cool thing. Like, hey, look what I found out. I found out if I take the straw and I put my hand on the cable and go, and people go, that looks stupid. And then you move your hand, they go, oh wow, that's awesome, right? That's the first kind of like art gallery showing like 10,000 years ago. Was it the Neolithic age, right? People are like, and I think that they went out hunting, and then when they weren't hunting, someone had their bow and arrow and were going. They were like, hey, that's a weird sound that thing makes. And he was able to make more sounds. Before you know it, he joined with the first musician, with likely some guy banging on a log. And they were able to sort of like plunk out two things. And then you had art in your system and you had music in your system. Not varied art, just hands on a candy, and not a lot of music, just a guy banging on a log with his club and another guy plucking his bow and arrow, right? That's the way. None of this is real. This is why as I see the idea coming in my head. And then the next generation was like, maybe we'll flatten this out and make it two. Man, I don't know. I think they say January. Well, yeah, they say you should after you get the shot, you should still mask up for. Well, when I got it, now they're saying everybody keep masks, but they were telling us you should mask up for an additional 2 weeks to make sure it's in your system. I was like, all right, but now everybody just wear a mask. Ooh-wee. It's humid out here. What is the weather? And you're taking just all that I have. What's the weather outside?
It's currently foggy and 73 degrees.
Foggy and 73. So the fog is why there's humidity. Fog is just low clouds, essentially. Water vapor. But man, the fog should have burnt off because it's freaking 8. It's this. Ugh, that switch. Yeah, when I left yesterday, I worked on this hand repositioning for like an hour, and my fingers still hurt. I'm not getting as good as I thought I would be getting. And this is just an intro that I can't get my head around. Hear all that sloppy thumb crookedness? Yeah. I don't know which one of these. We're not going to look too much into this because I don't want a YouTube strike. But which vaccine works the best? Which vaccine works the best? I heard Johnson Johnson. Who should not get not is who should not. Are they different? Don't really need that. I just clicked on close. Why is that there? Oh, it's not an X, it's an enlarger. The United States, a highly transmissible Delta variant, the 3 vaccines authorized by the FDA, blah, 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 blah. Bio status and recommended anyone 12 or older. 2 shots, 21 days apart, fully effective. All right. 2 weeks. It says fully effective though. All right. Moderna status, emergency use, adults 18. So the other one is 12. This is 18 and older. Not yet available for children. Okay. Strong protection. Wait, what? 18 or older, while the vaccine is not available for children, the company says its vaccine provides strong protection for children. The second is effective for 5 to 11. 2 shots, 28 days apart, fully effective. 2 weeks later, second dose. All right. Johnson & Johnson, single shot, fully effective 2 weeks after vaccination. '18 or older. Yeah, it doesn't mention any kids. 2 not yet available. 18 and older, 2 doses, 4 weeks apart, a month apart. And Novavax, 2 doses, 3 weeks apart. 12 to 84 is what they're studying. 12 to 84. How well it works. Similar Johnson vaccine and just carry vaccine scientists, harmless adenovirus as a shell to carry genetic code on the spike. Once the code is inside the cell produces the spike protein to train the body's immune system, which creates antibodies and memory. Man, I don't even know what to say. I really don't. What happened to Phil Valentine? Phil Valentine. Oh, yeah, I saw this guy. He was a denier. Phil Carl Valentine was an American conservative talk show host in Nashville, Tennessee. He broadcasts daily. Hey, I broadcast daily at Cumulus Media Station. Cumulus is a cloud, so that's pretty clever. I love clouds. Let's look that up. Nice. Cumulus. Cool. Media station. He was known in Tennessee for leading protests. He was leading protests as well as being a radio. So he didn't go, I disagree with this, that, or the other thing. He was out here. See, at this point, a lot of these people in these small are just political stooges, quite frankly, right? He'd be the same guy on his radio show telling you how integration is bad, or women's ERA is bad, or the gays are bad, or people who own 2 dogs and a cat are bad, or it'll just, I don't think they have. I think he said what he said for money, and I think that's where we are with the American media. There is no real free speech. It's all corporate speech, dressed up as people's private opinions. Because trust me, if his bosses didn't like this, he wouldn't be on the air. Dead at 61, radio host who regretted vaccine skepticism. How do you know he regretted vaccine skepticism? Let's get into this story. All right. Oh, NBC News. There you go. Continue. Why? There's nothing to shut this off. This is your fucking problem. You should go out of business because the shittiest people run this country. How do you know he regretted it though? And then you put it behind some fucking bullshit that nobody can read it. Like these headlines are always inflammatory, and then they belie. Well, let's look up his YouTube page. Maybe it says something. Then it belies the truth of the damn thing. Okay. Valentine questioned the need on his real parent. Part of it, the formed vax, a parody of Taxman. Okay. The song lyrics included. Let me tell you, I can't read a lot of this because YouTube will fucking ban me. So I'm trying to get in my head without reading it to you so the algorithm doesn't fucking spike. So you can compare vaccine status badges, yellow. Yeah, they always want to fucking associate you with the Nazis. You got a racist history here. You don't have to fucking associate anything with the Nazis. I will argue that the Nazis, this is going to be problematic for me, but it's not diplomatic. But I will argue that the American Klan was worse than the Nazis. They ran for far much longer. They killed far more people. They had complete, total freedom from the American government to do whatever the fuck they wanted to. And the Nazis only lasted 6 years. Killed a lot of people, but 6 years. So stop hitting me in the face with the Nazis, right? Know your own history before you try and get me to feel, oh, the Nazis are going to come here, because I'm sitting here going, what, they're going to last 6 years and then be gone? Because I'll take that. Right now, I'm still dealing with people who've been here 300 years and being greedy, racial, just dark souls, right? On July 11th, when Valentine acknowledged he had bragged about how it was not going to be a problem. He might take a day off from it. On July 23rd, he was hospitalized in serious condition. So a week later, July 11th to July 17th. So that's like 10 days later. So July 17th would have been a week. And okay, yeah, so that's 13 days. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13 days. About 2 weeks later, he was hospitalized in serious condition, which later turned critical. After contracting the virus, he regretted not being vehemently pro-vaccine. According to his radio station, he was placed on a ventilator to focus on his lungs. On August 1st, it was reported that his family will keep him alive on ECMO machine. I've never heard of this. Extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, also known as extracorporeal life support, is an extracorporeal technique of providing prolonged cardiac and respiratory support to persons whose heart and lungs are unable to provide adequate. Wow. Look, this thing affects your lungs. The 3 important things you have in your body are your brain, your heart, and your lungs. Right? Things that attack your brain, super bad. Things that attack your heart, take you out the game very fast, super bad. But your lungs is where you get all your oxygen, baby. Like, so this is why a lot of people, man, I don't understand people's logic. Oh wow, okay, so the day from on July, he pleaded ventilated, focus on his, it was reported that his family would keep him alive. He died on August 21st. He died July 11th to the 21st. Wow. 10 days. My sister told me, my sister had it and she recovered, thankfully. My sister told me the key to it, she thinks, is getting to the hospital fast. We're going to stop talking about this. But in her incident, she felt bad. She went early. She thinks a lot of people wait. And the waiting is the problem. So, yeah, she had hospital medication on her fast versus on her late. And I don't like to go to the doctor. I'm one of those people. But, yeah, I think I'm going to take my sister's advice. As soon as I feel a sniffle, I'm going to the hospital. 10 days. And that's the thing, man. This thing will wipe you out in 10 days. Valentine's brother said in an interview shortly before Valentine's death that Valentine regretted not getting vaccinated and not encouraging others to just do it as well. It's a pandemic. Why would you not get vaccinated? What's wrong with you people? I mean, it's a pandemic. It's a global fucking pandemic. There are people in this country who are just contrarian despite it and regardless. And other people use those big numbers to get themselves elected to shit. And now you see it. Yeah, they were. Not anymore. You got Jackson vaccine on April Fool's Day? Wow. Oh my goodness. That's that is pretty good. Uh, at first they were telling you to stay home with it. Yeah, but the problem with that is everything everything grinds to a halt. You need people to drive these trucks and unload these trucks and stack these trains and deeper into the supply chain. You need people to prep these chickens. We all eat chicken all the time, right? Uh, Deal with the beef so you can have like go buy a steak at the. Remember when this whole thing happened? The shops began to get bare, begin to look like those old Russian, not restaurant, those old Russian photos of when they were going on how the Americans are bad, and they were like, and then they would show Russian supermarkets. There was no food on the shelves in the 80s and 90s, and we were like, they want jeans, they should want hamburgers. Russian food list shelves. Let's go 1990. Let's go 1980s. See, well, yeah, now there's food on the shelves. Images. 1980s. 1980. Let's go 1983. Maybe that'll give us something. Ooh. Well, these are all the modernists, which is good. Russian supermarket. Look at all the food. Yeah, they upped their game a lot. I mean, look, the Russians were supposed to be the Soviets, right? They were Marxists. What they did, and just like what China did, they kept their stupid philosophy and they switched their money system to a capitalist market. Capitalism is better. You failed. So now you have a political agenda, quite frankly, running on a capitalist, but it proved that capitalism isn't a democratic institution. It's just capitalism. The Chinese are making money on it and making money on us. And like I said, that shit is going to come back to haunt us. What is this communist grocery store? Look how old this. See, this is why this image was important, right? So he's out there walking around showing you, hey, look at the progress we made and stuff. Man, we are just Russia's the way. The hell with America. And look at all the 1999 Russian President Boris Yeltsin wide-eyed trip to the downfall of Communist Party because he was shocked at all the fucking food, right? Clear Lake grocery store let that. I thought this was him in Russia, but yeah, he's shocked at all the shit that America has. And then people watched him and looked at their store and they were like, where the fuck is our food? How bad can the American system be? In September 18th, 19th, oh, good Lord, come on. Blank. All right, this is not what we needed. When Fidel Castro came to Houston to eat barbecue and schmood with locals, yeah. Don't deal in pictures anymore. But yeah, how did the Communist Party fall? Because they had no food on their shelves. That's what I was looking for. Yeltsin, then newly elected Soviet Parliament at spring, Soviet had just visited Johnson Space Center. Yeltsin visited Mission Control and mock-up of space station, according to Houston Chronicles. It wasn't all the screen dials and one that blew up his skirt. It was an trip inside a nearby Randall's location, right? I mean, look, Americans are heavy because look at the food. It's everywhere. Yeltsin, then 58, roamed the aisles of Randall's, nodding his head in amazement. He told his fellow Russians and his entourage that if their people who often must wait in line for most goods saw the condition of the U.S. supermarket, there would be a revolution. They had to wait in lines for like random stuff. Oh, good Lord, man. That's American. How the supermarket helped America win the Cold War. Yeah. I mean, it's envy. That's how you could have toppled the Taliban. You gave up the one thing that always works for us, envy, right? So it's the rock bands and the long hair and the rocking out, right? And you're saying that they're savages and greedy Americans, but Russian kids were like, "Ooh, a rock band. Maybe we should start a rock band." Right? With blue jeans, you began trading blue jeans on the black market, right? I mean, they said MTV did it too, right? They saw MTV, they saw all the kids at beaches and with their own car. They saw some of these American shows, movies rather, where everybody had their own car in a giant California, like, they had their own locker. They got to drive it. And they were like, how bad are they? Because they got stuff that I want. And then you had to crack down on people wanting to make the whole society better just because they saw some of this stuff. Meanwhile, the only people who had stuff were look at this. Look, this is it. This is one of the pictures I was talking about. Is there any more of these? Everything gets one picture. What's that about? Uh, Nobody wants to be redirected. Man, I gotta tell you, the new internet fucking sucks. It really does. It's always this bait and switch thing. So, Soviet supermarket coronavirus. This is new. Coronavirus. I can't even find a period picture of what I'm looking for on the internet anymore. It's gotten harder to search simple shit. So yeah, the first time I saw empty shelves was with this pandemic. Cuba, right? Uh, should we put this up bigger? We should. Don't know if it's the COVID or the vaccine, but some people blood gets like sludge. Yeah, we have different types of responses to stuff, right? I don't know about sludge, but yeah, I totally, what's the word I'm looking for? I totally get why some people would not. This is this is this is Washington D.C. Um, yeah, I totally get why, and this is what they mean by immunocompromised, right? But not everybody has the same system. Empty grocery stores. Yeah, what is going on with all this? This is how humble the Chinese are. He's their new dictator, right? He essentially took that place over, hung the last guy, put some of his people in jail for 20 years, and now they really are making a rush to reinvent the world in this fucked up way. This is where we are. The communists and the Soviets. They hate us because they just do, I guess. I don't know. Um, Skepticism and illness. He recognized now that him not getting the vaccine has probably caused a bunch of other people to not get vaccinated. He said in an interview that he regrets. Too late. You know what? Here's the thing about these people. They'll sit there and tell you all this evil, hate, blah, blah, blah. And then they're caught. And then it's like this contrite, oh, well, we're really sorry that this whole thing went that way. But you made millions of dollars off of it. You were pushing false narratives. And now, sad to say, he's gone. I was about to say, why are these guys trending? Brett Michaels, but they're not trending. Who's trending? Ugh, good. Google Trends, trending. BuzzFeed. All right, fine. Let's put me here. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about the internet. There's a lot of good stuff on it, but it's buried under a lot of. You have to look for the right information, and a good way, not really a good way, but the first ones that come up used to be the most popular searches. Now I think they're just sort of skewed to more popular and famous people and popular and famous websites. Um, we've been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. We talked about the world. You want to look up random news, local news? We talked about the hurricane. Look at this picture. He's going to talk about the Afghanistan evacuation during his Sunday morning press conference. He should have did that like last week. Facebook reports finding top link in 3 months time frame was about doctors who died. ABC News breaking news. CNN breaking news. You know, tracking hurricane tropical storm warning issued throughout Tri-State area. Page not found. How old is this? August 22nd. Yeah, it's 2 hours old. Page not found. Sorry, the page you're looking for no longer exists. All right, in 2 hours. Pressure 987 millibars, wind 75 miles an hour, movement north at 21 miles per hour. Yeah, so okay, that makes sense because, well, it depends on where this was taken. But if you have a 10-mile window for hurricanes and concerts, and the thing is moving at 21 miles an hour, that means it'll be on you in a half an hour. About. Ooh, that's not good either. They take this down too. You guys suck. You guys suck. All right, 2 to 4 feet surges, 3 to 6 feet surges. I mean, good Lord. New York, Manhattan, up here, Bronx, yeah, all this. It's going to push this way and flood all of this. Look how much flooding they're talking about. He don't look happy. Look, here's my thing. He should have been going a long time ago. Look at that city. It is a beautiful city. He should have been going a long time ago. But the problem here was he was entrenched. He was entrenched. And you should have got him out by, well, he's resigning. He had a year to go. Right? He could have been a lame duck. But if they impeach him, he loses everything. Right? Versus him retiring, quitting, whatever you want to call it. Right? It's like the cop who beats somebody up, and before they can fire him, he retires. You know what I mean? So he keeps everything. It's a tactic, but now everybody's like shocked by it. You wrote it into law, you idiots. You wrote it in. Now everybody doesn't know how it came to be this way. I could read more news. So I guess we're gonna end it. We're not doing any 3-hour sessions anymore. How you doing, William? I hope you're prepared and you're all right. I think so. I think so. I think it's inevitable. I think you're right. I think it's inevitable. We should look that up. I wonder what they're doing about the subways in New York. What's the name of this? Henry, and the MTA. Hurricane Henry? Across the Northeast begin to feel first impact of the storm. Suspended service reduction Metro North Long Island Railroad. Hurricane Henry already flooding New York City streets and subways. 8 hours ago, New York Post. All right. New York Post. Started by Ben Franklin, one of the worst papers in the country. Look at this. In all my time in New York, I've never seen shit like, oh, good Lord. I've never seen shit like this. is quite amazing. It really is quite amazing. Look at the cops standing like ankle deep water. Is there a stop sign back there that I can see? No, just street signs. All right. Hurricane Henry kept on track to wreak havoc in New York early Sunday, but early downpours had already sparked major flooding in the Big Apple Saturday night. So yeah. So when did they stop the show? They stopped the show yesterday at. When did the show start yesterday? Hold on. We got to go back to that concert. NYC concert. So when did they start it? When did it August at 5 p.m. All right. So it went to 6:30. From 5 to 6:30. And when is this? Saturday night. I think they just barely made it. The temperature was the coast and landfall in Long Island, South New Jersey by midday Sunday, which is 6 hours from now. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, big storm caused in part by moisture from Henry hit the region late Saturday, bringing heavy rains and flash floods to New York City, even forcing drivers out of their cars in Brooklyn. Oh, photos captured by the Post in the Gowanus. Oh, wow, this is a Gowanus. Okay. Yeah, that's right where I used to live. Firefighters, photos captured by the Post in the Gowanus show police and firefighters assisting drivers whose cars appeared to be completely stuck in more than 6 inches of water. First of all, how's your fucking car stuck in 6 inches of water? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's hysterical. Twitter you I'm sorry. I'm over here looking at this. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I had to close that. All right. While I was talking to you, this was playing. Let's show it to you for a second. This was playing while I was talking about the weather. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck? And then look at this house. There's paint everywhere. I don't blame the dogs. You know who I blame? Look at these guys. They're so adorable. They're covered in paint. I blame the owner who does not fix their animal, who does not train, who keeps stuff that your dog could get to out in the open like that. You know, if this was a kid, you'd be arrested. Who does that? Why did your car stall? Okay, that's more than 6 feet of water, my brother. That right there can stall your engine because it covers your exhaust pipe. But I thought they were talking about this. This is not deep water. Your car should not stall here. But this, I totally get. Look at this. It's, look, water up to his freaking thighs, right? But her car shouldn't have stopped. I don't even get why her car stopped. Maybe they pushed her out of the deep water. Yeah. White House press reveals the reason she's stepping down. She's not stepping down. Biden's latest speech slip up is raising eyebrows. Tom Cruise basically never sees Shuri, and now we understand why. See, it's always aggression and hate of like, yeah, great song. It's sort of, it's, yeah. The Post is not an awesome paper to follow. So I used to read the Post and the New York Times and the Daily News and sort of suss my head around what the truth was most likely to be. Hey, what up, man? Good to see you. I hope all is well. Yankees canceled today's game, but they're going to Atlanta. Good morning. I hope that you're not in this hurricane area, are you? Wait, hold on. William, How did they cancel the game but have a game today? I don't understand. You're telling me two different things. Yankees canceled today's game. They're going to Atlanta. So they're still going to Atlanta? Is this what you're telling me? Is it a doubleheader? See, don't get me talking about baseball. Let's look up the Yankees. I'm not Yankee game. Yankees Twins game scheduled for Sunday postponed until September 13th. Okay, wow. What are they doing in Minnesota? Thank for the subscription, man. Better make sure you get some. Well, I don't know where you're located, but if you're in the Northeast, man, you got to make sure you get some provisions, because if I know the way this goofy place works, they're talking about 2:00, and it's going to last for like 12 hours. I remember once we were caught in a hurricane. I didn't have. This was back in my heavy weed smoking days. It was me, my ex, and my dog Sydney, and that woman was fucking frustrating. I had like no weed, I had no whiskey, and she was just, "You think we should do this? She thinks we should do it?" I was like, "I got this. I got this." The Atlanta game is Monday. This is going to be over by Monday. But you know, hurricane season is from May to November. Hurricane season. And my typing is bad. Hurricane season. The Atlantic hurricane season is a period from June. Oh, okay, June through November. What I say, May, June through November. So we're going to be looking at this till at least Thanksgiving. Man, I'm always amazed at these pictures. I really am. Just the size of the damn thing. This day in weather history, the weather New York, on this date in 1980. Nobody, I don't. This is the other thing I don't get. Why do I want to go back and read about the horribleness of 1893 in a hurricane? There were 4 hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin, which didn't happen until 1998. Yeah. Ugh. What do you do with your horses? Oh, all right. You're down here with me. Do we have a hurricane coming this week? Get out of here. Are you serious? Hurricane for VA. I'm sitting here telling the New Yorkers to wash their asses. Meanwhile, you got to tell me to watch my own. Virginia Beach urban rescue teams respond to Hurricane Henry. Okay, I guess we've got that. What hurricane? I guess you have to have a name for it. Hurricane names. Tracking the tropics. Normally, they'll let you know what else is coming. Okay, well, Ida. Is Ida? Look at this. Wow, I feel bad for the Haitians. They got, I mean, all right. When is this? Has to be recent because Henry is here. Omaha 62 weather alert. It's got a date, August 17th. This was a couple of days ago. So let's look up Ida. So I'm not caught with my pants down. Okay, we're using it again. We want news about Ida. Tropical update. Henry becomes 3rd hurricane of the season. Henry on track. Henry expands. It's all about Henry right now, which I guess I get. Oh, okay. Well, they're monitoring a third area. That was a week ago. It would have been here already. Hurricane Grace eyeing Mexico. Henry headed for the northeast. This was yesterday. I know in Lynchburg they're calling for rain every day this week. Get out of here. Because Henry didn't come anywhere near us though. Close this. Henry is let's look at Henry's travel path. There you go. We got a reload image. Reload image. Are we gonna get it? I guess not. Yeah, here's Henry. It's right out here. It's gonna go straight up. Can we click on this? I'm not saying we open image in new tab. Yeah, it's not. Here we are. One thing had to come in bias, but most of it is just going to hit New York right in the face, like a clown hits you in the face with a pie. It's straight at Long Island. I've never seen anything quite like it. Wow. Yeah, so we're lucky. We got a little rain today, but it's supposed to be nice today here. But it's it started to go bad for New York. Yesterday at what did you tell me, William? Yesterday at 6, right? 6:30 when they had to cancel the Central Park concert was when they were like, all right, everybody get your ass home and hunker down. I remember like right before I would make my dog wait. She'd be like, I gotta go, you gotta wait. She'd be like, "Grr, grr, grr, grr." And right before I thought she couldn't wait anymore, I take her out in the rain and we walk for like 20 minutes while the wind was blowing, trying to stay away from trees and stuff. And then she did it all out. And we'd be like, great. Then we come down and then we'd hunker in. And we'd be hunkered down for like about 20 hours of not going out. And then somewhere in that 20 hours, I keep an eye on the weather. And when the eye of the hurricane came over, I take her out again, right? Really quickly, 20 minutes with this open the sky, stay away from the trees. Here's how hurricanes work, everybody. The trees that don't fall down get weakened, right? So after that storm passes through, that may fall on the next hurricane or just a wild thunderstorm. It rained pretty good overnight. Yeah, it didn't rain here, which was freaking awesome. I said with the windows open. But didn't rain Friday and Saturday. And then Saturday it finally got nice. Okay, let's do this. Weather. I actually, I can just look up Virginia Beach weather while we do that. 76. It looks like it's going to be fairly decent. Today is yeah. So what about tomorrow? So the next time it's supposed to rain is going to be Saturday. Rain forecast. Do we have any special? Heavy forecast to bring heavy rains and wind to the coast today. Look at that. New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, yeah, Maine up here. Eight people died after Hurricane Grace struck Mexico. So we have a hurricane and the Mexicans have a hurricane, which I think you're right. We might get a lot of rain just from the Mexican push up over Georgia and Alabama and into like the southern. Do we want to call that the southern? Come on. Thank God Day for this. It should not be this hard to get this image up. Here you go.
Hurricane Henri could make a landfall in New England later Sunday into Monday.
Why don't we do
Hurricane Henri could make a landfall.
So yeah, so this is gonna miss us big time. It's just gonna hit New York right in the face. all this water area is just gonna get all pushed into the, I'm about to say into the continent, more so into the yeah. Oh, maybe this is what you're talking about. Are we gonna get rain from here? See, weather in the east is interesting because our weather comes from essentially two directions. It comes from the Caribbean up, so we get these hurricanes, right? But it also swings down from Canada into the middle of the country, and then like that's why winters in Chicago are so cold, right? This Canadian air, and then that doesn't give us hurricanes or anything. That just gives us like a lot of rain. Uh, but yeah, we got it coming this way and this way. Whereas California only gets weather really from the ocean. Yeah, all right, let's stem this. Um the next hurricane, that's what I was thinking about. Okay. Well, I hope she's good. Uh Make sure you call her. I gotta call my mom. So I called her yesterday, she was asleep. I was like, all right, I'll call you tomorrow. So call your parents if you're lucky to have them. Call them weekly. I call my parents every Saturday or Sunday, but my sister calls my mother like every day since she moved out. You know what I mean? Like 30 years ago, every day. All the kids are grown. They're still on the phone every day. I mean, girls and their moms, right? What you gonna do? Talk to my dad every day. I mean, I love the guy, but I don't know what would I talk to him about every day. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I feel that, man. Yeah, that's the mode. A word. What you guys talk about? I don't like. We all have different relations with our parents. I love my, but like I said, I don't know what to. I wouldn't know what to talk to him about. I know he loves fishing, and I don't fish. But yeah, call them out there. Even if they want to lecture you for 10 minutes, let them have it. Because yeah, it's. I mean, parents are important. There's a gentleman who I grew up with. He was one of my homies' dads. He just passed. You know, and it makes you think, wow, my parents are just as old as that, and so now I'm a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm a little extra sensitive to calling them now, just because my my days of man are really kind of going by the wayside now. I'm like, all the shit that I love, I try and share with people. If you love it, I try and get you to do more of it. But yeah, I like my parents, so I'm happy to tell you how much I love them, and I can't wait to call them. But I'm also not a sycophant. I'm not going to be like, let me be on the phone for 3 hours with my mom, listen to her tell me why I should have got married. I'm not doing that. Right? I can steer my mama with we're not talking about that, mom. We're just not talking about it. Right? Real good interactions with your parents without being sitting there taking a lecture and that's why I think a lot of people, I told my friend, man, you're not 5 anymore. Give your parents some blowback. I've been doing this since I'm 18, so I think my parents are used to it. And I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters and me. So I'm sure my parents know all their kids are quirky in their own way. And they let it move, right? So they're really good people. They did a really good job with all of us. Even though I didn't get that new bike I wanted when I was 12, which I'm still holding a grudge about. Oh, nice. See, man, Shabazz, man, you're what I'm talking about. I was telling my sister this. When you come from a big family, you're less likely to be touchy because you grew up handling different types of personalities. A lot of people only have their parents and then themselves, right? And then their parents show all this love and all this uh, attention on them, and then they go into the world thinking there's something wrong with you if you don't heap all this love and all this attention on me. And I'm like, my sister will go, shut up. And I'll be like, what? So when a woman tells me now, shut up, I'm like, been there, done that, heard that before. You shut up, right? But then if they don't have big families, they've never been told shut up. And I've had women go, oh my God, I've never been talked to like this. I'm like, You're up. You're an only child, and everybody just blows smoke up your. No. This one reason why this isn't going to work out because you can't be talked to in a way that's normal without you thinking it's abuse, right? People are not always going to be nice to you and say the birth. One of y'all is crazy, Go put, it's these kind of like interactions that, especially with all these different types of personalities, you get used to letting stuff roll off your back, letting stuff go, knowing when somebody says stuff, when to engage and when not to. Man, she's just mad at me for whatever. Or my brother just being an asshole today, and I go about my business. Some people don't have any of these, just enough interactions growing up and around people that they like that you just can't leave. You can't just storm out on, I don't never want to see you again. But I'll see you at dinner tonight, knucklehead, right? So people are having to end relationships to not see, and the people I like now are generally from big families. And I realize they've had a lot of social contact with people in a house where you couldn't punch them in the face, right? Because mom and dad were not having that. You go, yeah, but now the modern era is smaller families. Everybody's a precious, delicate flower. And then when you meet them outside of their family, you meet them in a bar and this, and when you have your first sort of uncomfortable moments, arguments, disagreements, it goes off the rails with some of these people. So, yeah. Well, side about what you're saying, William. Let's put this on people know. The side thing about that is there's been more than one very famous rock musician, blues musician, jazz musician, R&B musician who died on stage. Some got electrocuted. Who's the black dude with the thing fell on him, the scaffolding fell on him and made him paralyzed. Right? So who was that? He was a 1970s kind of like, he didn't write Shaft. That was oh man, you know what? Singer paralyzed and scaffolding falls on him. That was during the storm. Curtis Mayfield, soul singer, is paralyzed from the neck down and remains in serious condition after being hit by a lightning scaffold blown down by strong gusts of wind during an outdoor concert Monday night in Brooklyn, New York. The scaffolding struck Mayfield from behind and broke his neck. Right? So, yeah, Curtis Mayfield got arrested. So he's died since then. 1990, 8/14/1990. One person was electrocuted. No, Isaac Hayes died of dementia. But yeah, Isaac Hayes, right. That's the first one I thought, but it wasn't Isaac Hayes. So yeah, Curtis Mayfield. And they didn't stop the concert, right? The concert was still going and the wind was picking up. And so now they have this artist that got injured on stage. Yeah, Dave Grohl broke his leg. There was a woman who was electrocuted. She was performing barefoot, as hipsters do. And the wire running under the rug that she had a short in it, and it electrified like the carpet. And I think she touched the mic stand and completed a circuit. And that was that. Singer electrocuted on stage. Grimes electrocuted on stage, but no, she didn't die though. Mama Grimes was electrocuted. Singer dies on stage after electrocuting. Is this French singer? I was talking about an American singer, but yeah. Janice Friedman from The Voice, she died of cancer. But yeah, this woman was barefoot. And I get it. Like, you're barefoot on stage, you're rocking out, God bless you. And then the electrical guys, what do they call them in the film industry? The gaffers? Is it the gaffers or the best one? I think, I don't know, the electrocuted. barefoot. I guess this was her. Leslie Harvey. Was it Leslie Harvey? Yeah, anyway, I mean, keep your sneakers on if you're on stage. Uh yeah, it's just so when these storms come through, we had a storm. There's been several of them. Storms had blown down at a festival last year and killed the whole rigging, concert rigging blown down in surprise storm. But no one 5 killed as freak wind blows down Indianapolis festival. Stage collapse kills 5. Yeah. Yeah, this is one look at this thing. Oof. Open image and new tab. I mean, these things have some force to it. And the video, I'm not sure the video, but this end of it was up here and it just goes, and look at all the people around it, right? So you know it hit a whole bunch of people. I was like, whoa. So I love concerts, but whenever there's storm issues, I go, where am I going to stand? Because I'm not going to stand. Look at this thing. Yeah. I mean, it's, and the whole thing just sort of like a box, just kind of caves one way or the other way. And here in Virginia, you know, it's the beach thing is down by the waterfront. And I mean, it's not, the venue isn't big, but wind comes off the water. So yeah, they're always sort of like keeping an eye out, which makes sense. Luckily, like I said, the venue isn't that big. It might be maybe as big as, I want to say, a supermarket, right? Versus those giant amphitheaters arenas, outdoor arenas. Yeah. When the wind kicks up, they are very sketchy, super sketchy. Um, but is there anything nicer than being out on a nice warm day under this, especially after the sun goes down? Because I have been in concerts, open air concerts in the fucking heat, and you're like, I can't leave to go get something from the ice cream. I'll lose my spot. I've got all these people. I won't ever find them again. But when the sun goes down and it's like a like Central Park, you can throw down a blanket. You know, you can smuggle in your smoke. Well, you don't need to smuggle them in now, but your smokables and your you got wine. You still can't have alcohol, oddly enough. So you have something in a cooler, and you sit there with like your 5 friends, and you talk smoke, and you look around, making sure you can smoke this, that, and or the other thing. And then you glance over there, and those people are doing it. And you glance over there, and you go, all right, there's too many people to stop everybody. Yeah, just don't be the first to do any of this stuff. Let someone else do it first, and then test the room. If everyone else goes, oh, he's lighting up, I'm gonna light, and then that person, oh, they're lighting up, then I'm gonna light. Then before you know, everybody light up, then you're fine. Oh yeah, watch you stop going. Music. I mean, well, other than the pandemic, music is so like outdoor music. It's got to be one of the nicer things, right? You go with your homies, especially down by the beach. Then you can go take a dip. Can't do that in any of these city venues. It's really nice. It's been I used to go to concerts all the time in New York. Go up there since I moved down here. But since the pandemic, all that stuff has ended. Yeah, and it's been a while since I've been to a concert. All right, so we're gonna bring this one. Oh wow, we're at the 2-minute mark. We're gonna bring this one to a close. We've been streaming for an hour and 45 minutes. It's just Sunday. Remember, this counts as church, whether it's your church, your synagogue, or your mosque. This all counts as good energy for you. Whatever money you were gonna put in the hat or the till or the whatever, you know, buy yourself a next cup of coffee. Give it to a homeless person. Give it to the church, regardless. Know that you're good for a week until I see you again. And remember, man, people are out here trying to make you miserable. don't fall for it. Don't take the bait, because like the example I use is road rage. Like, instead of getting into giving that, you're never going to see that dude again. So why invest in the bullshit of this, that, or the other thing? Definitely, man. I got mad respect for you. Just don't give in. There's other things to concern yourself. I'm not saying don't be angry, but I'm just saying don't be angry at the bullshit. You know when to be angry. Like I said, people fight all the time. I'm like, when to fight. Someone hits your mom, hits your daughter. But yeah, that makes sense to me. But all this, what you looking at stuff is just it's goofy. It's at this point, it's just goofiness, and it doesn't need a place, especially in who wants to fight with Corona all around, right? I mean, good Lord, don't get up on me and breathe in my face. The fight may not kill me, but your breath might. You know what I'm saying? So all these things, especially in this time of people being touchy and agitated, I mean, that's where they want you. You got better things to do with your time and your days, so do those, and don't give these low knuckleheads any play over you, right? A lot of that stuff I don't even let into my head. Let them say it, as long as they say it walking, and they say it walking away from you, right? Let them have their moment of whatever. And you find something that enriches you, builds you up better. Family is important, right? Like I said, I'm about to call my mom's. Well, not now because she's probably asleep. I call her at 11. I should go running. I don't know if you guys noticed, we've toned down a lot of our drinking on the show and our smoking. Just because, let's stop this before it goes off. Just because, honestly, at my age, I've been doing it for a long time. Now I feel like it's time to sunset some stuff, right? I sunset smoking. I was like, I'm not going to smoke for 25, 30 years. I'm not going to smoke the rest of my life. Somewhere around when I was smoking for like 15 years, I was like, I better start to quit this. And around my 19th, 18th year, I managed to quit. But although I'm that weirdo, I was like, I'm a party. I'm not going to do anything crazy like super hard drugs, cocaine, because I know what that does. I'm going to drink as much as I want. I'm going to hang out as much as I want. I'm going to shoot food. And then I'll slow that down when the time is appropriate. The time is now appropriate. I can't keep drinking like I'm 20. And I got to get myself back into shape, because this is the point where you should try and stay healthy, right? Not so much in your 20s and 30s. It's good that you do. But I tell my mom this, walking is good, Mom. Get out of the house and walk. Get out of the air conditioning. Just walk to the end of your block and back. That's exercise. Nobody's telling you to do a marathon. You gotta. And she's like, she's finally coming around to that. Like, you got to do some moving, right? Or things just stagnate. This just slows, because we're all gonna age, man. This just throws it off a bit. Yeah. Get your grow on, man. Growing stuff is good for you, even if you don't grow smokables. You can grow daisies or plants. A house full of plants shows, I think is healthy. Just like a dog or a cat or a bird is healthy, right? You've got another thing to look out for, to look after, that isn't that you don't have to put through college, right? It isn't that it isn't a burden. It's a plant. Just make sure you water it occasionally, once a week. Is that even legal? I think that's illegal, isn't it? Can you have 50 plants? I think you can only have, while we're here, let's go through the Virginia marijuana laws. How many, there was 5 plants can a Virginia weed grower have? 4 marijuana plants. Yes, Virginia 21 and older can grow up to 4 marijuana plants inside their own homes. The law allows 4 per household, not 4 per person. So my 4 and your 4 is 8, and we're in violation, right? But if I live in a house with 19 people, 4 plants is not enough. But it was supposed to be, you had to label with your driver's license on it. So if it's labeled with my driver's license on it, how is it anybody else's plant in the house? This is you could have followed other states. I mean, it's been around forever. You went your own way and you fucked it up. I mean, it's not this hard, man. I think they wanted the revenue of it without actually looking into the laws that make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So verify the do's and don'ts of weed under Virginia law. Yeah, this many is instant arrest versus many. Here's a Monday the Hollywood Fool crazy roadmap for. All right, hold on. Washington, it'll be a few years before Virginia can walk into the dispensary and legally buy marijuana for recreational use. As it stands, they don't. That day won't come until January 1st, 2024. Which even this pushback, they were going to have this date to be the legal date, but they were still going to arrest you for having weed, even as they made it legal July 1st of like this year, but you couldn't have any for 4 years. So what if I got caught with it, I couldn't be arrested. I don't think you could take it. I mean, it was such a hodgepodge, so much so that they had to give up arresting people for it because instead of they don't make any sense in the legislature. The Virginia legislature opted for a quick change in the law regarding possession and plant cultivation. There's still no legal point of sale for weed in Virginia, right? Because someone said, wait, we're still going to be arresting people for 3 years? And then they were like, quick change. Because I think every judge would be like, yeah, this is a waste of my time. I'm just going to dismiss all the charges. Or somebody's going to give you 30 years in jail for something that's not going to be illegal in like 15 months, and you know it. So you put all these people, you open up yourself to all these legal issues, lawsuits rather. The first step toward legal change came July 1st, 2021, when some specific aspects of the Commonwealth marijuana law gets a bit more lenient. Verifying teams got into the proverbial weeds of these weed laws and talk to experts about what Virginia residents need to know. All right. Okay, I don't know who your source is, but I'll take them as credible. Who can possess and smoke it, right? We know 21 and over. It can be outside. All right, so Virginians over the age of 21 can legally possess up to an ounce. Do you know how much a fucking ounce is? An ounce is a lot. You can roll, like, if a joint is, I want to say half a gram, right? How much is not even half a gram. I used to know this. How many joints can an ounce of weed roll? It's a lot. 84. Approximately 84 cigarette-sized joints. Yeah. Oh, an ounce of weed is a shit ton. And when I heard that, I was like, an ounce? And I instantly thought the people who wrote these laws don't know shit. So I'm pretty sure one of them who used to smoke weed back in the day was like, how much do you think? Somebody was like, ask for a pound. Nah, they don't know a pound. Just go down. How about an ounce? Sounds like a little. Yeah, let's go with that. Someone was like, we should have said a pound. I mean, an ounce is a shit ton. And some places you can have 3 ounces of weed on you. I was like, 3 ounces of. I was like, good Lord, no one needs to walk around with an ounce of weed on them. I can roll 10 joints and go to a party and still keep a giant ounce at the crib with 74 other joints. So I know somebody slick in the legislature who was somebody's aide was like, do some research on this and get me this. And they were like, yeah, tell them an ounce. No, man, I'm not trying to lose my job on an ounce. You fucking kidding me? Then you went in there and you blurted out an ounce. They were like, oh, okay, fine. We're all 75. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. An ounce is perfectly good. Let's do that shit. 84 joints. Outrageous. Okay. An ounce. Yeah, weed is only like half a gram. Virginians over the age of 21 can legally possess up to an ounce of marijuana and can use it in the privacy of their own home. Our sources told us to think of the new weed allowances as similar to alcohol. Public intoxication is illegal, therefore, so is smoking weed in public. Yeah, but here's the go. Smoking weed in public and public intoxication are two different things. I would say drinking in public and smoking weed in public, right? So I can be out with a 40 ounce and get arrested and not be drunk. Versus, they assume if you have an open container, you're drunk, which is a problem. With this, they're assuming that if you smoke weed, you're burnt down. But that's not the way weed works, right? I hate to say it, but I don't do it. But I think you can drive on weed. You can't drive on alcohol. Although we don't want anybody intoxicated on the roads, I totally get that. But let's be clear: people take Prozac and Zoloft and they go driving. Just in the same way that you couldn't be out on the public under any circumstance consuming alcohol. The same as for marijuana. Virginia Delegate Price said, this is really about what you do in your home. Once you step out of your home and or get behind the wheel of a car, this is in the public space. Yeah, but the idea that you can't do anything in the public place unless we say so goes against what the fuck the country stands for. Weed should not have been illegal in the first place, especially since the founders grew weed, and you should be able to have a distillery like moonshine is against. The founders had whiskey stills and gin stills. All this stuff that we are now this religious country without actually being a religious country, and all these people telling you what you can and cannot do, that doesn't really affect you or anybody, not you, doesn't really affect them or anybody else, right? In New York, when we lived there was this case where a guy was sitting on his stoop with a beer, and the cop showed up and arrested him. And the judge threw it out of court. That cop was stupid, first of all, but the judge threw it out of court because that also affected the judge. The idea that you're sitting on your property on a brownstone, even though the brownstone is 3 feet from the curb because there's not a lot of property in New York, and some cop walks up on your property and arrests you, is ridiculous. You could have been in your backyard, you could have been on the roof, but you have to be on your stoop with some friends talking nonsense and having a drink. And the judge was like, you can have a sip of whatever on your property. What are you doing? And they're like, well, it was in public view. Yeah, it's an open container, but so what? Right? I mean, the idea went from somebody staggering around and messing with people and being a hot mess to, oh, yeah, that's illegal. And not only is that illegal, you have a 12-ounce can of beer, which will get no one drunk. And then you have to put in a plastic bag and we used to do it 40 ounces because a bag makes it anonymous, right? Some people think, what you do? It's a soda. In a plastic bag, yeah, it's a soda. It keeps my hand from getting sticky. Right, all these kind of, yeah, keep walking, man. Let me sip this thing. Get me when I'm staggering around and I'm messing, I get that, but just, I mean, don't cause problems. This is why the cops have such a shitty reputation. They run around causing problems to people that they shouldn't cause problems with. If you were out there with people that were drug dealers and you're drinking in public on your stoop, I get that, right? But I think the dude was like a CPA. He was just some random dude, you know what I mean? And it becomes a pissing contest of, well, I'm the law and I'll tell you that you can't do this on your property. Yeah, so they've associated a lot of this weed stuff with alcohol, and it's not the same. Just in the same way that you can't go with behind the wheel. Yeah, okay, nobody should get behind the wheel of a car. Our experts explain that public and private entities still reserve the right to tell you what you do, what you can and cannot do. For example, an employee can reject you for a job for using marijuana, and the landlord or property owner can ban use for tenants. Oh, yeah, but that's sketchy too. You should. Can DC delivery services legally deliver and gift weed products to people living in Virginia? Now, here's the thing I want to know, because weed is legal in DC, and which is right across the border from VA. Can I drive there to their dispensaries, load up, give me a $7,000 worth of weed? Woo! Give me $500 worth of them cookies. I need some rolling paper, right? So you spend, let's say you spend $100. Let's say you spend let's say reasonable, $200 on a new pipe and a cool shirt, right? And some papers and some chewables and some tastables and some smokables. And then you drive it all back. Is that trafficking? Because it's legal where you bought it and it's legal where you're taking it. Is it trafficking? You know what I'm saying? If the only place, I mean, you can't have it in public view, so you can't even grow it in your backyard, which you should be able to do since it's your backyard. But the neighbors will see the plant and be horrified by it. What if I'm offended by your color scheme? Can I call the cops on you? There's a lot of stuff that other people get to point their finger in your life and tell you what you can and cannot do, which does not affect them. And this is what America has always been. And then you can see it now with a lot of these random people who aren't cops getting in the face of, black people, quite frankly, telling them what they expect them to be doing. And then the cops show up and tell them to mind your business. This woman who just got 25 years for trying to run over two kids because she's crazy. 25 years, right? If you would have just mind your business and went up like the guy who shot that boy in the parking lot for loud music, if you would just mind your business and went about your way, you wouldn't be in jail doing 30 years now. Boy shot over loud music. There was one that happened a couple of weeks ago, but the one I'm looking at, Jordan Davis. Perpetrator Michael Dunn. All right, background. Dunn and fiance Rhonda Rauter traveled from their home to attend the former son's wedding. He was coming back from a wedding near Jacksonville, Florida. Dunn and Rauter left the wedding early in order to return to their hotel and take care of their 6.5-week-old puppy. On the way back to their hotel, the two decided to stop at Gates Petroleum gas station and get a bottle of wine. Tommy Storm, Leland Brunson, Jordan Davis, and Tevin Thompson have been spending the day traveling to various malls when they decided to go to the Gates Petroleum gas station to buy gum and cigarettes. The shooting of Jordan Davis took place in Jackson around 7:30 p.m. 4 teenagers, mind they were kids, Leland Brunson, Jordan Davis, who died, Tommy Storms, and Tevin Thompson stopped at the gas station. Storms left. He wasn't even driving. Storms, the driver, left the SUV, his red SUV, running while he went into the store. Brunson, Davis, and Thompson remained in the parking spot. Right, they were remained in the car. They were sitting in the car listening to music while he went inside to handle his convenience store issue. The vehicle listening to music which was described as very loud. My car's music is always loud. Michael Dunn, driving a black sedan, and his fiance pulled into the right adjacent parking spot. So they pulled in right next to him, right? The adjacent parking spot. Adjacent means next to. He pulled in right next to him. Rada left the car to purchase white wine and chips. So the woman got out the car to get the white wine and some potato chips. He's sitting in there looking at these black kids playing music, fuming, right? Is he the passenger? Oh no, he was driving. She was the passenger. She got out to get chips. He stayed in the car. He's a driver. She testified that Dunn told her, "I hate that thug music," before she left the car for the store. Although Dunn claimed he used the phrase "rap crap." Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what you hate. It's got nothing to do with you. Debates on the loud music playing in the teens SUV annoyed Dunn, who asked for it to be turned down. The front seat passenger, Tevin Thompson, initially complied and turned the volume down. But Jordan Davis requested the volume be turned back up, which makes sense. Why are you listening to him? Now you got to take shit from your homies who you have to know versus this random stranger, right? That's like the man who shot Parkin. Yes, exactly. It's the same arrogance of bullshit. Yeah, we're gonna look that one up too. That's look. Let people be. You know what? If this is the case, nobody runs up to women wearing miniskirts and going, "Put some clothes on them," and demanding to like throw a wrap around them or anything. You would be like, "What the fuck?" But only us can random knuckleheads show up out of nowhere and demand to know who do you belong to playing music this loud. You know what I mean? What? So he turns it down. His boy goes, "Yo, what the fuck are you turning that shit down for? Fuck that guy. Turn the music up." I'm not even paraphrasing. I'm making up what I think young black people would say. Or maybe he was nicer, but the intent was still the same. Why are you turning it down? Why are you listening to him? Right? We're minding our business. Turn that fucking music up. Let him go about his business. Right? But Jordan requested the volume be turned back up. David's protests to continue on, and an independent witness overheard Dunn say, "No, you're not going to talk to me that way." So I guess they said something to him. Mind your fucking business. You're not going to talk to me that way. Dunn, who had a concealed weapons permit, took out a handgun out of his glove compartment and started firing at Davis's door, hitting him in the leg, lungs, and aorta. Yeah. He clipped him in the giant. As the SUV that backed up to evade his gunshots, Dunn opened his own door and continued firing at the car in a shooter's stance as the boys ducked for cover. Dunn later testified that he still feared for his safety as well as that of Ryder, who was returning to the vehicle imminently. How did you fear for your safety? You kicked this shit off. No one approached you. You know what I mean? After the shooting, he drove away. Not he didn't drive away. The boys drove away to a nearby parking spot and stopped to find Davis gasping for air. Ryder returned to Dunn's car. They returned to their hotel where they ordered pizza. Dunn did not contact the police. He just let off these rounds and went and got pizza. The next morning, Ryder saw a report about the shooting on the news indicating that Jordan Davis had died. Dunn testified that on the drive home, he called the neighbor who works in law enforcement to arrange to speak to him about the shooting. But the phone records indicate that the neighbor actually called him. And Ryder testified that the shooting was never mentioned during the call. So he's saying, hey, I called my buddy a cop because I was concerned about this. But the cop was going, I just called him. I didn't know where. But like, hey, what's up, homie? What's going on? Yeah, when you coming back? All right, I'll talk to you later. So, I mean, he can't even get his story straight. I mean, you're trying to save this. There's no way you can save this. Oh, my God. I mean, this story is just one of the wild stories. Ryder testified that she was never mentioned during the call. Dunn returned to his home in Satellite Beach the following day at 10:30, where he was arrested after eyewitnesses reported his license plates to the police. After his arrest, Dunn claimed that David threatened him with a gun or a stick. Yeah, do you think that would have been found in the car? Dunn's fiance said no such item was mentioned to her at any point. At least the girlfriend isn't fucking covering this up blindly, right? She contradicted him multiple times in what happened here. But she should have called the cops. Investigators later searched the teenager's SUV and found no weapon. Forensic scientists determined that in the short distance the boys traveled, a weapon could not have been stashed in a place that would not have been immediately visible to crime scene investigators. Which I mean, they didn't pull into a grassy field, right, near a lake. They pulled into a parking lot. So they searched the whole parking lot and was realized, you know what I mean? Contrary to Dunn's claim that he mentioned a weapon to Ryder several times, she testified that she never mentioned the gun either that night or the next day. Aftermath. Dunn's former neighbors say he was not surprised by his behavior. Hendricks described Dunn as an arrogant and controlling, and adding that Dunn's ex-wives, more than one, told him that Dunn was violent and abusive toward them, although he never personally witnessed this. Hendricks, how can you say that on stand? You have to, that's hearsay. Hendricks spoke a previous discussion where Dunn asked him if he knew anyone who would take care of someone who infuriated him on an unrelated incident. And Hendricks interrupted further discussion as Dunn wanted to send a hit on this person. He just wanted to fuck. Why do hit people always talk to random people? Davis's father said, I'm in constant contact with Tracy Martin, Trayvon's father, and I texted Sabrina. Mother Trayvon Martin. Yeah, okay. Rebecca Dunn, daughter, is defending her father, saying by her. Every time I get justice for Jordan, it's going to be justice for Trayvon. Rebecca Dunn, Dunn's daughter, defended her father's story. Really? You weren't even there. By her statements during the interview, he's going to protect himself. If he sees no other way than to bring out his gun, then that's what he's going to do. She described Dunn as a good man. He's not a racist. He's very loving. No one's ever racist. And I don't care what your children say about you. You have a different relationship with them than you have with anybody else. Davis's mother, Lucy McBath, ran for Congress in Georgia's 6th Congressional District 2018, running on a platform that included reform of gun laws. McBeth cites the activism of students after Stoneman Douglas High School shooting as the reason to run. She defeated incumbent Karen Handel, winning 160-139 votes, 50.5% to Handel's 49.5. In 2020, she defeated Handel in a rematch to win re-election to a second term. She's a congresswoman now. Good job. Yeah, you should be out because fuck you. I mean, I want to know what she said about this whole thing. And she's not the only one. 20 years ago, There was a shooting on the Long Island Railroad by a crazy person, and that woman whose husband was shot, her son was shot, she ran for Congress and stayed in Congress for 30 years. Yeah, stand your ground laws isn't the stand your ground laws has been used as a trap for people, right? To bait you and then kill you, right? They start an issue with you, they come over to you, they get in your face, right? If you push them, they pull out a gun, they shoot you, right? It's I mean, and then they're brought into courts where the courts are notoriously unfair to black people. Let's be fucking honest about it. And they go, yeah, I don't see any reason why you weren't allowed to kill this guy who had no gun, who you approached out of nowhere in a public place to start some shit, right? It's a lot of we hate you and we fear you as well mixed up in this. Murders believe the media coverage. All right. The murder is one of many used as justification by public activists, many black parents that insist that the unarmed children who died at the hands of police, all white men, mattered as individual human beings. AP News says the case has become part of the national conversation enough about the dangers facing young black men in America today. The murder is believed to have inspired activism from Black Lives Matter movement. During the 2016 Democratic National Convention, Davis's mother, Lucy Macbeth, talked about supporting the Black Lives Matter movement and said his death doesn't overshadow his life. 8 years to the day after 70-year-old Jordan Davis was shot and killed after listening to music with his friends, another black teen met the same fate during a similar argument with a white man. In the similar case, the police wrote in the statement, no, this did not happen because of loud music. It happened because the suspect chose to bring a gun with him and chose to use it. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. We want to see this. I'm sorry. We're going down a rabbit hole here. What was this? 51? Where is it here? It's 51. Documentaries. Don't care about the documentaries. And there was one where the death of 1919. On November 3rd, 2018, a black teen was shot and killed by a white man in Ashland, Oregon. This small college town near the Oregon-California border has a progressive reputation. But hold on, first of all, did we close this? We did close this. Hold on. Jordan Davis. I want to see how much time he got. I think he got 30 years. Jordan Davis. Some of these guys are getting 2 weeks in jail. That's not Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis. Okay, here he is. Murder. Okay, so Michael Dunn, charged first degree murder, attempted murder, firing into an occupied vehicle. Just randomly fired into, like, yeah. But I think he hit what he aimed at. The guy who was talking shit to him got killed, right? So, aftermath, reaction, media coverage. Jury selection, Dunn's trial began that the open statement took place. Dunn was found guilty October 1st, 2014 at the conclusion of the trial. Dunn was given a sentence of life in prison without parole, plus 90 years. All right, there you go. Ensuring he will never be released from prison for the remainder of his life. I mean, that sentence, I would say, is heavy. I don't like heavy-handed, stupid sentences. That's a stupid sentence. Should he have gotten life? Yeah, just give him life, no parole. Plus the 90 years. So he's going to beat the life, no parole thing and then get out. You shouldn't have to stack it like this. And I'm a weirdo. I believe that 50 years is enough for anybody to do in jail. And people who roll their eyes at that, normally if you're young and do a crime, you're 16. If you got it in 50 years, you're 66. If you're like most people do it in your 20s and 30s, when you get out, and so you're 75 or 80. All this 99-year shit is just a stroke job, quite frankly. But all this 2 years for like rape, like that guy who tried to rape that one behind a dumpster, he didn't even get jail time, is a joke. The whole thing is ridiculous. Our whole system doesn't make any sense. But yeah, a life sentence without parole should be that, without parole. You shouldn't have to add on 90 fucking years. Okay. Oh, here we go. The tragedy is, so what did he get? What's the backup to this? California border has a progressive reputation, but Ellison's death has led many black leaders to question The reputation demand change. They get along. All right. Where's the meat of this thing? Keegan now faces several charges. Ellison had been playing music in a hotel parking lot around 4 a.m. when 47-year-old Robert Keegan asked him to turn it down. They were both guests at the hotel. According to court records, the two had an argument. Then Keegan went back to his room and returned with a gun. Police say he then fatally shot Ellison in the chest. That's murder one. You left the scene and came back, right? Keegan now faces several charges, including second-degree murder. The FBI said it's investigating whether federal laws on bias were violated. You know what? Openly saying that the FBI is just a joke when it comes to this shit. There's a ton of stuff that they could investigate and they never do. And look, the last president, Donald Trump, famously had the Civil Rights Division fucking held by some white guy who did nothing, right? You cops can do whatever you want to these people is a message. And I'm beginning to believe why you listen to any of them to begin with. Why listen to them on this and not this? I mean, this thing is going to come to a head, and then it's going to be like somebody told the preachers and the civil rights people to tell them to stop rioting and fucking shooting people. And people are going to be like, yeah, no, fuck you. 300 years of this. I tell people all the time, it's not to take over the country. Sometimes people do shit just to get back at you, right? Just the energy to fucking give. Nobody, black people aren't going to take over the country and make it the opposite of South Africa, right? It's just fuck you. None of you can be trusted. Oh, now you're looking for me? Well, fuck it. I'll just shoot it out with you. You know, it's that kind of fucking. I don't want to say I have no hope, but it says I have so much anger at you, you can't talk to me anymore. And America really, I mean, 60 million black people. All of us have a problem with something here. You should seek to fix it. Don't think that your enemies won't come here and weaponize the anger against you for shit like this. When I talk like that, all my white friends go silent. Because there's a lot of logic in what I'm saying, and they can't refute it, but they don't want it. And I mean, who would want it? Tit for tat murder is bullshit. He came back and fatally shot Ellison in the chest. Keegan now faces several charges, including second-degree murder. Bob Ellison had been living in the hotel. They had been living in the hotel. Ellison recently lost his job at a Burger King that burned down in a wildfire this summer. And Keegan's house was among the 2,004 homes that were destroyed by the same fire. So the guy works for Burger King. Much of this region is predominantly white. A handful of racial equity groups have formed in the country since George Floyd. What? Let's see how this turned out. December 4, 2020. Oh, this is only about 8 months ago. He moved to Ashland with his sibling and his mother. There are two rules here. Smile and be whitewashed, Wolford said, because you can't dance, you can't have your music, you can't have to talk, you have to talk a certain way because no one understands what you're saying, and you have to recreate your whole life, your whole self. And it angered him. It angered him so much that he could not be who he was, but anybody else could. And if you don't submit here, you're a problem. Wolford said the death of her son, Aiden Ellison, is a loss for his world, but a gain for heaven, where she says he is free to be black now. Yeah. Wow. I wonder what, there's got to be more on this. Yeah, see? Look. Life in prison is all yours. You never would have went there if you hadn't gone there. Look at this young man. And here's the thing, if you go, look, a bully's a bully, right? So I'm sure this would have been fisticuffs if this guy was 5'9" and the white guy with the gun was 6'4", right? But once it begins to be about even height, even weight, someone's always got to bring out a gun and be ridiculous. I've been ignoring the chat, excuse me. Did he act as his own lawyer, William? I think the first guy did, but man, it's not necessary. And there's all these, they're look, there are all these people who. Let me explain to you racism, right? Racism allows some people to treat you as their what is it? Their therapy, right? So they can blame you for everything, and it's not their fault, right? Or if something happens, they can take it out on you because you did. It's therapy. It's like if you could kick a dog because you're having a shitty day, that's what you're doing. And people are like, well, what the fuck did the dog do? And then they tell you to mind your business, right? It's you being a miserable person. There's a ton of people who don't do this, who don't blame everybody for like he lost his gig. I'm living in a hotel. I get you, right? But how'd you make it worse? You better check your internals, right? There's a lot of guys running around here hating on women. If you look at why, what is it? Is it because women won't date them? That's some of it. Is some of it I hate my mother? That's some of it. Is some of it temporary? Oh, these women, they are in my face. Oh, because you go through hills and valleys in your life, right? So maybe at one point you hate church, at one point you hate women, at one point you don't get those blacks or those hate but then you move about your life, right? As long as you didn't say something stupid on Twitter, you move about your life. Do I have something like this in my life? People that I would just not fuck with, and then I fucked with. Yeah, when I was a young man, I was like, the gays. What the fuck is that all about, right? 1920. By the time I was like 27, I went to college, met a couple of gay people, got over that shit, right? Marched for them in the parades in New York. Now my whole thing is I'm not for the gays anymore because I've come around again. And not because I hate them and I don't think that they should get married or any of that. My thing is every time I protest, where are you after I protested for you? Where are you for me? I don't see any giant groups of you. I don't see you giving money. I don't see you, I don't see any of it. So now I'm like, my whole thing isn't you're immoral or anything. I don't believe that anymore, right? But I believe that you're disloyal. So I don't want to be around disloyal people. That's a very different, the outcome is the same. I don't support it, but the reason why is very different. So somebody will go, oh, they don't support us. They're all anti this. And that's what we want to put you in this box to discount from the thing we did or haven't done for your group and to explain why you now no longer support us. You know what I mean? So for a lazy example, if let's use the gays again. If the gays showed up to my house and always ate and then always had a party and never invited me to their party, but always showed up at my party and ate, I would stop inviting them to my party. And then they would say, oh, they hate us because we're gay. You know what I'm saying? That simple scenario is what I think is going on here. Whereas people going, well, you don't support us, so we're done fucking with you. And then they can just turn to the unfair media and go, all the blacks hate gays. And that's why that is. And they wasn't going to go, really? Because they said it's a totally different reason. It's the place is so in tune to hear you say something bad about black people. So when you fuck me over, you can then go and say bad shit about black people and it'll be put on. And so then you're like, I'm not marching for this anymore. I'm not donating to that anymore. Why am I even anymore? And not just that, I can use the same thing with the NAACP. The NAACP's numbers are down because in the 80s, they moved more toward democratic politics and were just telling you to go and vote for people like Michelle Obama just gave a speech and the whole point of it was you can change your life, but you got to vote. And it was like, vote? We did. Voted for your husband twice. He didn't do dick for us. On women to show that. And it's also very sexist now, calls on women. Not everybody, just the women. What happened to the men? How are black women moving ahead without their mated pair, the men? I mean, somebody is reinstituting a plantation-like system here where the black women we like get to work in the house, go tell those in the field to do X. And none of it is good for us. Michelle Obama is taking her crusade. What crusade is this? To protect voting rights to women. Why not everybody? Voting rights to everybody, right? As she encourages Americans to register to vote and calls for action against new election regulation. I encourage every woman with an earshot of my voice, every woman, fuck the guys though, earshot of my voice to think of ways that they can be involved. The former lady said during an appearance Friday at the 19th Virtual Summit. The 19th is an independent nonprofit newsroom that focused on reporting on gender. What does reporting on gender mean? What does it mean? I get politics and policy, but what is reporting on gender even? What is that? Obama said that at the time when people were trying to take away the very power that we have to use our voice, make it harder for us to vote, and doing the most undemocratic things you can imagine, women must step up. Women must step up. Not everyone must step up. It's becoming so sexist. But from the women's, if men said we men must step up, this is for men, and women would lose their shit. But men, it's one of the things, that we've always done. I think haven't shown enough real interest in what women are doing. But this is bullshit. I can tell you why it's bullshit, because there are women in Afghanistan right now who want to do the same thing. And what will the men do? Right? This whole thing, this sounds sexist, but this whole thing only stands because men let it stand. Wait till somebody come through and go, fuck this, you can't do X, Y, or Z. And they've got a big enough army to tamp down the men who agree with you. You're in a lot of trouble. Just make it a democratic and stop trying to make it gender sexist America, right? Just fix the shit that needs to be fixed. Now you're going to get the women to be mad at what? The men? So, I get enough heat from black women already. They're going to be mad at me because I don't do what? Vote the way they want me to? It's so sketchy. Obama's appearance at the conference came as Republican state lawmakers. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Democrats and vote a popular figure. Obama is, she's a popular figure. Democrats and voting rights activists have reportedly criticized the new law, which, the law should be criticized. A popular figure, Obama is seen as a key messenger for Democrats on a variety of issues. Really? I don't know anybody who digs her. Who voted for her? Including efforts to help encourage Americans to get vaccinated. She was featured speaker. She's doing all the shit that black people don't want. Go get vaccinated. But you know what? Where are they when they're the fucking shooting? They're quiet. They're at Netflix. They're making Netflix money, or they're out in Maine on their giant compound. I thought they were from Chicago, by the way. They're not anywhere near Chicago anymore. They're in Maine. Her appearance at the virtual conference came weeks after she and Stacey Abrams, another person who is getting a lot of weight from not being elected to anything higher than a statewide office. The voting rights activist and former Georgia Democratic gubernatorial candidate, means she lost the gubernatorial race to Kemp, teamed up to release a video urging the public to help protect our freedom to vote. Oh my God. Too bad you didn't know a president who could have done something about it. And it's always a sweetheart writing by women. Yeah. I'm not a fan of hers. I'm not a fan of her husband anymore. I feel like they arrogantly let me down and then went off and made money. What? He's not, well, okay. Who's the guy? We're looking up too many of these. Who's the guy in the parking lot, though? Did they find that guy innocent? Parking lot shooting, Florida. Racial? Maybe that'll do it. Is this it? I need a image. Let's see. Yeah, we here. Yeah, this is it. We had faith in you. You just went off and got yourself rich, and now you're back, going to the well once too often. It's like, no, I don't, man. You can't keep fooling me. And like I said, you could at least fix the criminal justice system to stop the cops from doing whatever. I know you can't fix everything. He didn't even do that. Black lawyer, white killer, and a parking lot vigilante. What is this about? Michael Dredko, who invoked Stand Your Ground, ABC News. All right, so maybe this is it. Is this Marquise Glockton? Yeah, all right. So I just want to know what the end of this was. Pardon Claire Porter. But I will say in this, he did hit the guy. Right? He did punch him. But what happens here is everybody, you have a history, man. After this, I was like, man, this is why you keep your hands to yourself. He shouldn't have died over it. It's bullshit. Fight me, but one punch means execution is bullshit. But having said that, this guy, let's put him up here. This guy had a giant history of being an asshat in that location, right? So people are going to go, it's not like this was a one of one and this thing just turned out badly. It's like, oh, he's always in here whipping the gun out, talking about the blacks, yada yada. You know what I mean? It's like some of these people slowly egg themselves on to do something, right? They keep talking about it. Oh, I hate so and so. He's gonna get it one day. Oh, well, man, that guy. Oh, I can't hate Sting, can't stand anything. Then bam, so and so shot X. Oh, man, when the cops come by, do you know anything about? Oh man, he always hated that guy. Oh, really? Did he? And you're sitting in holding, going, I'm a good person. I'm a Christian. The first thing I asked is, when's the last time you went to church, Christian? a lot of this just comes to who you are, and it's hard to hide because, like your search history, right? If I uncovered your search history and you said you were a Christian, what's in your search history? Are you listening to Christian music, Christian scriptures? Are you hunting down this famous Christian preaching, that famous? And then when they look in your computer, they go, "You got a lot of fucking Christian shit in here, no porn." Right? He's got a lot of Christian shit here, no politics, right? So he's not even an anti-COVID denier. He's just up his ass about Christ and Christianity. And then your case looks like this. We think he's mentally fucked up because he's one of these super Christians who believe in all this stuff that we don't believe because his internet says so. Versus he says he's a Christian, Your Honor, but everything on his YouTube, not his YouTube, his search history is alt-right this, and I hate that, and I hate the government, and I hate the cops, and I hate the this. Right, but he's saying so. I mean, your history, your internal resume will betray you. Yeah, exactly. Right, and the thing about church is exactly like a church in America. I mean, they organize lynchings in the South through the churches. I mean, so why should I believe? You know, you got a long way. You just can't expect me to go bygones and just come back to you, right? In my Y'all Need Jesus shirt. Born in Original, Delaware, his father was a Delaware State Trooper, had a concealed carry license. Drucker worked at a tree company. Why do you need a light? A lot of these people have guns, they don't even need them. A tree trimmer and often performed cleanup work. He quit the tree trimming business in 2007 and lived with his girlfriend, Carolyn Brooks. They always have girlfriends. In 2023, Drucker moved to Fincamp where he got married. He later worked as the Uber driver until a problem with his vehicle forced him to quit. Yeah, okay. Shooting. Location, Pinellas County. Yeah. And then the fucking law shows up and takes his side immediately during the fucking investigation. He announced that his agency would not charge Drucker for shooting at the press conference, walked throughout the event leading up to the shooting and revealed the surveillance video to the media. He stated by saying, I'm a big believer in the adage that just because you can doesn't mean you should. This case may be an example of that. Nonetheless, we don't build it. We just sail it. What I mean by that is I don't make the law. I enforce the law. We don't build it. We just sail it. What? Guattari cited Florida 776.032 and stated that his office precluded from making an arrest. His office was precluded from making an arrest due to Drucker's claim of self-defense. A claim of self-defense? You're 6'4", you killed your 5'1" wife, and your claim of self-defense is good enough not to get you arrested, just the claim of it? This guy sounds like bullshit. Defense through Florida stand your ground law. Guattari said he investigated will continue before turning over to local state's attorney. In the second 55-minute press conference, Gurney defended his decision not to arrest Drucker. The Pinellas County Ministerial Alliance and the NAACP cleared was scheduled to stand with Guattari during this press conference, but backed out half hour before it began. Yeah, we need black people here for us to sell this. And finally, they were like, yeah, no, this is a bridge too far. The state attorney, August 1st. Hold on, when was the shooting? August 1st, 28th. The shooting was, I'm trying to get it, July 19, 2018. Okay, so July 19, and then his press conference of following record July 19th. His was a day later, okay, and then a second conference, July 31st, 2 weeks later, and then a day after that, August 1st, 2018, Guattari announced that Vetri had been turned over to the state's attorney. The following day, McKay said there was no time to frame how long it would take to complete the investigation. 10 days later, August 10th, Detective George Moffitt sent a capias. An arrest warrant is a warrant issued by a judge or magistrate on behalf of the state, which authorizes the arrest and detention of an individual or the search and seizure of an individual's property. So they launched an arrest warrant. To State Attorney McCabe recommending charges of manslaughter with a firearm against Drucker. Moffitt cites 3 drivers who allege that Draker threatened them with a gun in past incidents. Draker was formally charged with a single count of manslaughter, which is bullshit. Draker pleaded not guilty to the charge. Eyewitnesses account. A man who witnesses the argument between Draker and Jacob walked into the store to report it, which led McLaughlin to confronting Draker. McLaughlin from record. After McLaughlin was shot, deputies interviewed multiple witnesses at the scene. 2 911 calls from witnesses were released by Pinellas County. 9/11 sent on August 16th. There were over 100 witnesses in the case. He did it in broad daylight. It has such a fuck you vibe to it. Jacob was a major eyewitness. She explained her decision to park her vehicle in the handicap space, although video surveillance shows there were other spaces available. Jacob told prosecutors that the two pickup trucks blocked her from accessing those spots. Jacob claimed that Draker began yelling and motioning at her. So she was in the parking spot too. He came after her like he was the parking spot police. Mad that she was in a handicap spot. He wasn't handicapped. Jacob said that she told Draker to mind his own business. You got to get you shot. You got what's his name shot. According to Jacob, McLaughlin told Draker to stay away from my girl as he flung Draker to the ground. Draker was shot. She attempted to apply pressure to his wound with a shirt. Look, okay, a little first aid for shooting. You can't stop bleeding with a shirt. I mean, it'll absorb it. What you need is like, here it is, my old credit card, or this is a Sam's Club card, to put right over it and apply pressure. This keeps all the blood in, most of it. It's sort of like a seal unless it comes out the back. And just talk to people. But a lot of this is shot in the chest, is blood that's not coming out your body. It's flooding your lip. You're essentially drowning in. But man. He told her to get out of the parking spot, stay away from my girl, as he flung to the ground. And McLaughlin was shot. Jacob claimed that the bullet struck McLaughlin in the left side of the abdomen, contrary to the jury account that she was shot in the chest. Well, this is easy because where did the fucking coroner say that the bullet was? Jacob claimed the bullet struck McLaughlin in the left side of the abdomen. So what? This is your left side. When does it become your chest? Right? I don't know. Draker's account of events. Within a day of the shooting, Draker had a sign posted outside his home that read "No comment." Draker refused to speak to the press for over a month following the shooting. Until late August, his only public account of events came from a statement he made while being questioned by detectives. Yeah, keep your mouth shut. You know enough about that, right? First media interview. He gave a media interview. Say he thought he was tackled. That's like saying I thought I was hit. Are you in a fight or not? I thought he punched me in the face. But the video says none of this. He thought he was tackled. Early in the interview, Draker spoke about his early life and work profession, the financial and physical hardships he and his wife were facing. Yeah, that's really what it was, right? He's got all this other shit, but you can blame black people for it. Him and his wife are having hardships. He lost his Uber job. He's got money shit. Then you see some black. Like, of all the things, the last thing I'm going to take is some nonsense from some black, blah, 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 blah. And then you kill him. And then all of a sudden, when the adrenaline and the anger goes away, you realize, holy fuck, I'm looking at 40 years in prison at a minimum. I hope the justice system is as racist as I hoped it would be, so I can go home tonight. Made them immediately after the shooting. Draker spoke about his early life, work profession, the financial and physical hardship he and his wife are facing, and threats made to them immediately after the shooting. There's always saying people threaten you, but no one ever has any. Like, show us the voice recordings, the emails sent, because those things can be tracked. And it's always said but never shown. Recording McLaughlin shoved. Draker said he thought he was tackled. He was pushed. Draker stated he was in fear for his life and felt that he followed the stand your ground law. Draker said abuse of handicapped parking spaces is a sensitive issue for him, as his mother-in-law and deceased high school girlfriend were handicapped. His deceased high school girlfriend? You're married. Let that girl go. None of this makes any sense. His alibi is grasping at straws. Draker denied he was a racist. They always deny they're racist because I don't own a robe and I don't go to Klan meetings. That does not mean you're not a racist. While Drecker wouldn't change his action, he wouldn't change it. He did apologize for the gross of the action to the McLaughlin family. Drecker was subsequently interviewed by Roundtree with her face hidden by a gray curtain to protect her identity. Oh, his wife was interviewed, and she didn't. But his wife didn't even want her face known to be around him. Activists and protests. All right, call for DOJ investigation. Yeah, there wasn't one. I want to be arrogant. Let's see. July 27th, Democratic Party let Attorney General Sessions acting Jeff Sessions. Yeah, it wasn't one. Acting Secretary Attorney General Civil Rights, M. Gore requesting department open investigation. The letter was signed by Nelson and fellow Democrats, Kamala Harris, yada yada yada, represented District Attorney, respectively. The embassy along with Florida State, but it doesn't say that they did anything. You said the calls to do it, they didn't do it. Criticism of Gaultier's decision. All right. And then they left him in place. So this is what I mean. If you hate him, why'd you give up? Now you just went away. He's still the idiot sheriff. All right. Politicians. Yeah. Okay. Politicians look at this as a meal. Allegations, ethical issues, allegations against Dykstra. Look at all the shit he's done. Right? Oh, good Lord. I hate when sorry about that. Okay, let's make this bigger. Wow, it's already up to 133. Let's get me out of here. 18-year-old male driving patches stopping at a yellow light. Threat. Right? Hold on, where is this? Alleged victims cause a dispute. Good Lord, come on. Cause of dispute, alleged gun threat, year, location. Details. All right. 18-year-old male driving past and stopping at a yellow light. Gun threat, 2012, Clearwater, Florida. Claimed Drecker pointed a gun and followed them. They took down his license plate number and contacted authority. Drecker claimed the driver cut him off and says he honked his horn and yelled at them, but denies pointing his gun and following them. The driver and passenger declined to press charges. How did they know you had a gun then? A female driver and 3 passengers. Driving too slow. Gun, 2012, Clearwater, Florida. Claimed to threaten them with a gun, then reported the incident to Largo police officers who pulled Drecker over. Drecker claimed that the driver drove too slowly in the 50-mile-per-hour school zone and says he honked his horn at them but denied pointing his gun. The officer declined to arrest Drecker since the victims drove off. You knew who the victim was, they reported it. The driver cut him off, says he honked his horn, yelled at them, but denied pulling out his gun and following them. He honked his horn at them, but denied pointing his gun. All right. That's 2 things. If we get 3 more, it's modus operandi. A mother with 2 children. A female driver, 18 years. So he's got a thing for young people, right? And women, apparently. Nearly making contact. No gun. Palm Harbor, Florida. Claimed she was waiting for Drecker to pass while in the center lane waiting to turn. Drecker claimed the woman nearly hit him and in the midst of brake checking her. Brake checking. So one's behind you and then you jam on the brakes, right? Causing her to rear end them. A Florida patrol trooper accuses Drecker of aggressive driving and cited him for the collision. Yeah. People are idiots. Ricky Kelly, a male truck driver, parking in handicap space. Yes, Clearwater, Florida, food store. Yeah, claimed Drecker confronted him over parking his employee's tanker truck in the handicap space. Tanker truck. I like that one. In the handicap space. He accused Drecker of threatening to shoot him and using a racial slur. The store owner, Celius, intervened and ordered Drecker to stop or else he would call the police. To whom Drecker replied, I can't help myself. I keep getting myself into trouble. After the incident, Drecker called the company the driver works for and complained to the owner, John Tyler, reporting saying the driver was lucky I didn't blow his head off. The driver reported this incident to the police in July after the shooting of Marquise Glockton at the same location. So he almost got killed, right? So not only did he go, if you believe what someone said, I can't help myself, I'm going to get myself into trouble. And then he went home, and that light of clarity was then eclipsed by the storm clouds in his mind, and all he could see was, I'm going to call over there because he wouldn't let it go. So, yeah, trial, conviction, and aftermath. Drecker was found guilty of manslaughter with the terms. Drecker was sentenced to 20 years in prison with credit for 92 days. He's in prison at Lancaster Correctional near Trenton. At least he's getting out. He should be doing 30 years where he was attacked and reportedly wounded by another inmate. Yeah. Good job. So let's just close this. Yeah, there's a ton of them. They don't make any sense. Oh, what is this? Verifying the do's and don'ts of weed. That is a pretty nice picture. Look at how green the green is. They absolutely did something to this. Can you grow your own marijuana? Yes, Virginia. We're gonna finish up about the weed before we head out of here, people. Yeah. You ain't wrong. You are not wrong. I mean, it's just it's and like I said, your history will come back to haunt you, right? If you get into it, smacking ladies, right? At this point in your life, when they grab you for assaulting a lady, they're gonna look in your past, and all your ex-girlfriend's gonna be, we broke up because he threatened me. We broke up because he hit me. Women that you work with would be like that. He was aggressive, blah, blah, blah. You obviously got a lady issue. It's all gonna come back. I love ladies. I have a daughter and I like my mom. I always say those people, oh man. Some of these people have home lives and then go out and hurt people, like those serial killer people, right? A lot of them are married with kids to keep down regular jobs and stuff. Then you find out they're just a hot mess of sinisterness. Who can possess marijuana recreation? Okay, well, let's get some of the good topics here. All right, well, okay, who can legislative marijuana, CDC delivery services legally? Can you gift weed to somebody? No. When interstate travel comes into play, that's when federal policy steps in. And on the federal level, marijuana tracking. Oh, okay. So I cannot go to Washington, D.C. and buy weed because it's legal there and then bring it back here, even though it's legal here, because it's not legal federally. So once I drive over that imaginary state line, it becomes trafficking on a federal level. The state cops in D.C. won't care. And do DC even have state cops? No, they're all federal. They're a district. The federal, well, those cops would care. I guess they could. They couldn't pull me over. If I loaded up my car with weed to drive back, they couldn't pull me over because it's legal to have it in DC. Once I cross the border, they're federal cops. They have federal authority. Can they follow me into Virginia and arrest me? I guess they can. Okay. But the state troopers in Virginia wouldn't care, right? Because it's legal here. So, yeah, man. So that's what I wanted to know, because I'm like, I could just go load up, but grow your own, I don't think they care how many you have unless somebody you live with was like, oh, yeah, he's got 15 plants in the basement. You know what I mean? Can you grow your own? Yes, you can. What's the problem? Can you give it to people, though? Can you gift it? What's on the horizon? Did we miss can you give it? Because I would like to give someone a plant. Right? Can I give someone a plant?
Coronavirus continues to keep us all on our feet as new information seems to come out every
Where
day.
is this?
First, the CDC recommended an additional dose for immunocompromised people. Now, officials say they're prepping a plan for all adults to get a booster. And the boosters under consideration are all for mRNA vaccines.
What is that?
A third dose of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines as early as September 20th.
It's this, but where's it coming from? Is it these? Oh, it's coming from down here? Good Lord. All right. All I want to know is, can I give it to somebody before this stupid thing kicks up again? I have to mute. Can you grow your own? What's on the horizon? Okay. I can't go and bring a can. DC delivery services there and give weed products to people living in Virginia. No. All right. It remains illegal in the United States to transport any cannabis across any state, territory, and lines. Okay. Regardless if it's from legal state to legal state. See, and this is the thing that you should fix immediately. It should, man, you got your state laws, which will fuck you over. You got your city laws, which will fuck you over. Then you got these federal laws, all designed to keep you from happiness. Meanwhile, you know, politicians can do whatever the fuck they want. They're always higher on cocaine or some shit. On top of that, the gifting model used widely in the district is not allowed under new Virginia rule. So I can't give you a plan. The new code is not very specific, of course, because you want to be able to fuck people over. So if it was very specific, you would know exactly what not to do. You want to be blurry and amorphous, so you could just go, yeah, you broke the law. But permit adult sharing with no monetary transaction involved. So it permits me. So buying a sticker and getting a pot brownie on the side is not technically legal. Not technically legal in Virginia. Wait, you mean not technically illegal? So buying a sticker. So I'll buy a sticker. Hey, we're selling toothpicks. I will sell you this toothpick for $100. And when you buy this toothpick, you get this free gram of weed, right? That's what they're doing. If you buy a t-shirt for $350, you get a pound of this. That's essentially. Oh, we're not selling the weed. The weed is a given because we're selling the toothpicks. They all smoke and drink too, and way more than they do. They're all in bed with someone's daughter or wife, or all this sinister stuff that you see going on here. Yeah, they're not the best of leaders, but they're the ones in charge. Can't do anything in 2024. Yeah, the feds are. Yeah, and you'll be perfectly lit because it's legal there and it's legal here, and then you'll get pulled over, and they'll hit you with trafficking, right? Or that local cop who want to fuck you over can't do anything, so he'll call the state guys, not the state guys, the federal, because this is DC, right? The federal guys, and say, we think he's trafficking, but you guys can do something about it. And then you got a federal trafficking charge from buying, 3 grams and some brownies and bring it back. And for older people, I recommend brownies, not smoking. But yeah, the whole thing doesn't make any sense. Legal sharing, I explained. Oh, good Lord. Legal sharing. Where is it? I was just looking up. Legal, what's going to affect the horizon? The plant must be grown. Each plant, yes, Virginia. Okay, here it is. Legal adult sharing, as our expert explained, is involved 2 adults over the age of 21 handling off a marijuana product to another without remuneration. Beginning July 1st, which just passed, that's fine. So I could roll my J. In New York, in the old days, if the cops saw me smoking a joint and I took a toke, puff, pass, and I gave it to my friend, they would charge me with trafficking for giving it. It had no money had to take place. It was just all these ways that we could fuck with people who do this, and they were usually black people. Yeah. It is what it is, man. All right. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 53 minutes, and this is where we're going to end it. It's 10. Go get breakfast. Go call your parents. Go smoke a J. If you're here, smoke a J if it's legal where you are. Yeah, exactly. It's legal, but it's not. It's just amorphous to fuck you over if you tried anything, right? An ounce. You know how much an ounce is? Before we go, let's look up an ounce. How much is an ounce of weed? Eighth of an ounce is 20. Oh, look, they got stuff. 1 ounce is $100 to $300. 28 grams. Yeah, 28 grams. And an average joint is half a gram, less than that, right? Depending on how you roll it. There's got to be images. Let's see these. I love me the intranet's opening a new window. So let's look at this. So 1 to 2 joints, right? A gram. An eighth is 1 to 2 joints, 3 to 5 grams. A quarter is 7. It doesn't tell you how this is an ounce, 28 grams. So 1 to 2 joints for a gram. 28 grams get you 48 joints at a minimum of what they're talking about. Half a gram should get you 20. Yeah, I mean, a fucking gram of weed is a lot of weed, people. Here's a good picture. It's too small, but yeah, look at that. Here's another one. Look at these. Oh man, tiny. Fourth of a gram. Who smokes? Who wrote the fourth of a gram? Yeah, a joint is about a gram. All right, so that's 28 joints at the very minimum, unless you roll like smaller ones, which would be you have more. So if you got a gram of weed, you're gonna get at least. This is what 2 ounces of weed looks like. I'm sorry. Look at that. Right? So half of this bag. Oh man, I just love it. I love it. I love it. It's so goofy. It doesn't make any sense. It just shows me another proof that the people in charge don't know 90% of the time, don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and don't know how to, good job on you, and don't know how to handle it. And our faith is in them. That's not good. All right. Speaking of, like I said, I'm going to call family members. I'm going to try and fix my own life. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to thank Knowledge Ocean Badge for coming through and talking to us. I would like to thank William for coming through and kicking it with us. Here it is. So thank you, William. It's good to see you, man. Be careful, William, because you're in the crazy zone of flood and snow and all this other not awesome stuff. Did I say snow? Flooding and rain and all this stuff. So take care of yourself. I'm gonna check on you tomorrow at the 6:30 show to make after the storm pass to make sure you're all right. Let's do that and close this. There you go. I'm back. Nature's beautiful. Get out and get some. It's impressive. These hurricanes and stuff and snowstorms and all, you just don't want to be in it. Protect your family, protect yourself. I will see you in the next one. I want to thank everybody for swinging through. Again, thank you for the like and subscribe. Please, everybody, like and subscribe. It helps me out. It encourages me. Lord knows I need encouragement. This is the Sunday session. This is the third one. Every Sunday, it counts as church. We talk about a whole host of stuff, which generally affects us people down here who make less than $1 million a year or whatever, $100,000 a year. Just talking it out, talking about over stuff. We demonize nobody, but we point our fingers at the bad actors. I got love for you. I didn't even finish my coffee. I got love for you. What are you gonna do? So get at it. I guess this is it for us. Everybody take care, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. It's a daily podcast. 7 a.m.s are only on Sundays. 6:30 every day, all week long. Saturday session is guitar, which it wasn't yesterday. It was some of this. We'll figure it out. We're working it out. We're not corporate media. We're people talking on the internet, right? It's good. Be healthy. That's important. Like I said earlier, at my age, I got to be a little more healthy, smoke less, do more physical stuff. You young guys, do your thing. You got time, but don't get so used to being sin driven, quote unquote, right? It's not about being high and being drunk when you're 60, right? And stopping at 60 is a little too late. You should slowly curb some stuff and pick up different habits. Because I hate to say it, but what I've noticed is you're lucky in your 20s. You don't really know anybody who passes away is good. But when you get to my age, people begin getting cancer and getting sick in their 40s and stuff. You're like, oh man, like, and I gotta have my boy Pietro on to talk about his incident, his issue. But as you get older, things, like a car, things wear out, right? You got to replace this on your car. You got to look into that. The body's the same way. Hopefully you don't have to replace anything, but you got to make sure, oh man, I've been smoking a little too long. Maybe I should give my lungs a break and seriously quit smoking. Oh, I've been chilling too long. Maybe I should, a couple of push-ups every morning, a couple of chin-ups every morning. Maybe I won't go on a diet, but I'll make sure I throw a salad in with my lunch meals, because that roughage is good for your stomach. It'll clear out a lot of stuff. I don't know what to tell you about your heart. right? Because plaque gets in your heart from all kind of wildness. But I think exercise, and they say you can't get it out, but exercise strengthens the heart. I don't know. You got to look up. We're all different, but all I'm saying is that it's not too late to all of a sudden get your Mac on in a different way, right? Sex is exercise, right? If you're married, go, hey baby, we're gonna get in shape, and she goes, we're gonna jog. You go, no, we're gonna have sex every day for X, Y, or Z, and the strenuous kind where you work up a sweat and you're like, yeah, right. You burn calories doing it. It's good for you, and you get to know your partner. And even if you don't have sex, you just get to sit there naked with your partner and talk shit. That's always nice. So remember those days when your love was young and new, right? Re-energize all that stuff, right? Guess what this thing is about? It's discipline for me, but it's also trying to get you to kind of reawaken something that you like, not take up something that you hate. What would be the point of that, right? But yeah, man, I used to play guitar like that. Oh man, I used to do graffiti. Maybe I'll get another black book and start drawing with some markers. Or man, I used to cook a lot. Maybe I'll start cooking again, right? I used to work out, man. I was a football guy. Maybe I'll start working out a little, all the stuff that used to be you. But I think a lot of us are just sitting at home down watching TV, hating everything. Now, I hate to say it, but I think that's part of the plan, really. Because then they can come to you and go, oh, your problems are because of that guy. You got to vote for me, right? But once you go, oh, you're just as bad as that guy, I'm going to sit this one out. Or I'm a little too knowledgeable for the games you're trying to run on me. And I'll put my time in something a little more important or trivial, if you want to say it's trivial. But as long as it does something for your heart, right? If you started making things out of matchsticks and you end up building like a monument, a statue 10 feet tall, right? You got a skill set. Good job, man. And I just think that men should keep in shape anyway, just in case, because there's a lot of knuckleheads out there. And you can't deal with all the knucklehead with guns, right? You got to be willing to fucking fist fight it out. But you also don't be so, like, I hate to say it, this guy shot. No, I saw that tape and I was like, well, you shouldn't have touched him in the first place, right? I mean, everything isn't physical. And another thing about that tape, after he pushed him and the guy fell down, he pulled out the gun and the dude started backing up. He was like, yo, don't want no part of you. And he shot him anyway, right? You had control when you pulled out the gun. I ought to blow your fucking head off. Get out of here, you piece of shit. Yeah, all right, man. My bad. All right, I'm far. Right. And then you leave. Ooh, then maybe you learn, maybe I shouldn't put my fucking hands on people. But this was just kind of like, oh, this is my opportunity to kill somebody. I'm perfectly protected. And everybody was like, no, you're not. Especially since you've been policing this parking lot and you own nothing here. And now we have questions for you. 20 years is not long enough for him. The Jordan Davis guy, life plus no parole plus 90 years is ridiculous. He should have got 40 years, right? 25, 30 years, yeah, I got you. But nobody gets out. I mean, America just throws most of those sentences. I feel like this because normally when I hear a sentence like that, it's a black guy getting a sentence like that. 30 years. So look, you burglarize a car, you should get 2 years for it. You're getting 7. You get into a fist fight with somebody, both of you are found guilty. It should be a fine or 6 months for disturbing the peace. You're getting 2 years. It's like the problem is the fucking judges and the arrogance of them, which goes back to what I said before. Marching don't work. We've been marching since the 50s. You kill our leaders. Marching don't work. Why should I listen to you? And when all hell breaks loose, why shouldn't I take part in the mayhem and chaos of it? I'll tell you one thing that they're not reporting a lot on TV as we end this thing. A lot of cops are running into like assassins. You notice that? You don't want that to be a thing. And I know why you're not reporting it on TV, because somebody might be like, hey, that's not a bad idea, right? So you keep the most stupid shit. You don't want to encourage people but yeah, you still got to report the death of a police officer. Then you look at it and you go, they didn't get anybody for that. People are called to a location and people open a fire on them. It's bullshit. But it's not like, well, everybody hates the cops. You should ask yourself why. You're supposed to be an investigative agency. We got a long history of fucking with people, and we're still fucking with people in these neighborhoods. We're gonna adjust how we do this. We want the bad guys. We don't want to fuck with everybody, right? And when the bad guys when it's shown that we're doing something, the first thing we want to do is have all these black people that we know to come in and stand behind us and say we love our police department and all this stuff. And then the next day, some other stupid thing happens that everybody catches on video. And then you can't explain, right? Or you have to begrudgingly fire somebody or suspend somebody or keep their name quiet. All these ways, there should be one way of dealing with the bad guy in police departments, and it's not. Everybody can deal with it any way they want, right? It's goofy. So protect yourself. There's a lot of knuckleheads out there, and that's everybody. Protect yourself. There's a lot of knuckleheads out there, and try and get right with yourself. However you do that, and I think that is a lot of that is looking inward a little bit, art, painting, physical exercises, whatever you choose to do. And try and get to the next step, knowing that there are obstacles, right? I will see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m., same bad time, same bad channel. We stream every day, and we have been streaming every day, and we will be streaming every day for 1,000 days. Some music, some politics. Eventually, some of these will be out in the open, but I don't know when that's going to be, quite frankly. I don't know where to go. I can't go to a restaurant, go to the beach with a camera, look like I'm filming ladies in the bikinis. That's problematic. Going by yourself with all this stuff is problematic. So I don't know. We'll figure it out, but we're here 1,000 days as we figure it out. Take care of yourself. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Karma Armor on Twitch, True S Armor on YouTube, and here on Haps, it's True Armor. I will see you in the next one. Peace.